B'Shem Hashem na'aseh v'natzliach. Shiur Torah, Baruch Hashem, always good to be here. There's some good shiurim here, Baruch Hashem. The shiur we did here about yirat shamayim, maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, has been very, very popular, Baruch Hashem. A lot of people heard what yirat shamayim is for the first time in their life. Even on the Torah, it says that yirat Hashem iotzaro, that yirat shamayim, the fear of the Almighty, that's considered Hashem's treasure. That's everything for Him. And another place in the Gemara it says that it was worth it for Hashem to create the world just for yirat shamayim. That's the reason why He created it, so you could fear Him. But yet today we have so much confusion in the days of MaShiach, Achrit Hayamim, that we find ourselves in, that most people have never heard of yirat shamayim, and even if they did, they think it's like a bad word. So you tell people, listen, come to shiur Torah, about MUSSAR, learn about yirat shamayim, learn about fear of Hashem. No, what fear of Hashem? No, Hashem loves us. Hashem is this, Hashem is that. He forgives everything. Everything's okay. Everything. They've turned Judaism into Christianity. They just call it Judaism, though. So why? Because the Christians, that's what they say. The Reforms, that's what they say. The Conservative, that's what they say. And unfortunately, many parts of Orthodox today, they call themselves Orthodox, but really, it's Reform. There's a couple of big Chachamim in Israel that are saying that there are certain parts of modern Orthodox that have faulty leaders, to such an extent that it's Reform in disguise. It's Reform in disguise. Why is Reform in disguise? There's a community here in Florida, at least one that I know of for sure. They call themselves Modern Orthodox. There's somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,000 families. 1,000 families that go to the synagogue. Many people religious, some black and white, nice people. But every weekend, every Shabbat, they have a parking lot, at least 200 cars. Meaning that out of 1,000 people that show up to Beit Knesset, somewhere in the neighborhood of 40%, because each car 2 people, 40%, 400 people are driving to Beit Knesset on Shabbat. But they call this Orthodox. You drive to Beit Knesset on Shabbat, there's nothing to do with Judaism. Forget Orthodox or not Orthodox. So, unfortunately, the reason why is because yirat shamayim, iotzaro, has been removed from their teachings. That yirat shamayim is the treasure of Hashem has been removed from the teachings. Where today people think that if you teach about yirat shamayim, it's like a bad word. You're supposed to teach about loving of Hashem. Hashem loves us, and all of these nice, wonderful things, and that's all great. The problem is that there's maybe 1% of the really, really ultra religious giant chachamim that actually have avat Hashem. There's probably a tiny, tiny microscopic percentage of Am Yisrael that actually love Hashem. Every one of us thinks here, everyone sitting here, is 100% sure that we love Hashem. But if I told you that you don't even understand what loving Hashem is, it's a surprise. And the reason why is because yirat shamayim itself has several levels. The lowest level of yirat shamayim is fear of punishment. Don't do X, Y, Z, because Hashem will punish you. Hashem Hashem, you lose health, parnasah, zivug, all types of horrible things that can happen to a person. There's plenty of horrible things that can happen to a person in this world. That's the lowest level. You say that's a level that even a donkey has. Why? A donkey is scared that he's not gonna run off a cliff because he doesn't want to break his legs and die. Right? So even a donkey has a little bit of yirat. He's afraid of punishment. So that's the lowest level, alvai aleinu, that we get there. Alvai, we get there. The highest level is fear of romemut, fear of the Almighty, meaning you're afraid of hurting the relationship you have with Hashem Yitbarach. Similar to the type of a relationship between a husband and a wife. And he says, once you get to the highest level, already you're almost at a level of how Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu got to the highest level of yirat shamayim, you got there. He says, and that is the beginning. That's the beginning of loving Hashem. Meaning the highest level of yirat shamayim, that very few people in the generation actually possess, that's just the beginning of loving Hashem. So now I ask you again, do you think there's a lot of people, many people, that actually even understand what loving Hashem is, let alone actually love Him? So, it's not an embarrassing thing. It's not something that someone should feel bad about. It's just a reality check of where you stand. A guy that's not successful in business should not be upset about not being successful. First of all, you should know that everything is in the hands of Hashem. But second of all, you should know this is just today. Today you're not successful. Who knows what the future holds? You invest today, maybe tomorrow is going to be better than today. There's nothing for you to be upset about. If it was permanent, then yeah, maybe you should be miserable. But who said it's permanent? Nothing's permanent other than death. But even that's timely because you go to a different world. So it's not something to be upset about not loving Hashem or not even being at a decent level of yirat shamayim. It's just a reality check. You need to know that you're not successful in order for you to start getting up off your chair and saying, okay, I got to do something about it. If every day you say, no, I'm successful, but your bank account is at zero, you think that saying you're successful is going to help? Like they say in that stupid book, The Secret? Nothing. It's not going to do anything. What's going to happen? Your wife is going to slap you in the face and say, successful batich. What's successful? Go to work. What's successful? You saying successful is not doing anything. We need to pay for food. The kids haven't eaten in 3 days. The cat is leaving the house. He found a new place already.
Well, I'm feeling good.
It's a feeling good. Everybody's dying around you. What's feeling good? So saying successful is not going to change anything. So exactly, you're lying to yourself. It's intellectual dishonesty. So the most important thing that a first person needs to do in the beginning is to understand where he stands. We do not have real yirat shamayim at this point to even dare to say that Ahavat Hashem is part of our vocabulary. And before we start the questions, I'll tell you something. Yesterday we said a story that's in Gemara Masechet Brachot about Rabbi Yochanan. His students came to him and asked him, Kvod Harav, give us a blessing before he was dying. Give us a blessing. And he told them the blessing is that you fear Hashem like you fear man, which to them sounded strange. But then later on, he explained to them that in reality, you sin in front of Hashem all the time, but if the cop is about to pull you over on the highway, you get scared to death. So fearing in front of man, you're scared. Or fearing in front of Hashem, alayinu ala rasi, like they say. It's no problem, no big deal. So, the other part of the Gemara also says that, Kvod Harav, why are you so scared? You are Patisha Kadosh, you're the strong hammer. The Torah was almost forgotten before you came along. You had so much churban, so much punishment, so much disaster to Am Yisrael. The Torah was almost forgotten, you restarted it. Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai. Why are you scared right now? You're shaking, crying. Why? You know you're going to Gan Eden. He says, if I was going to meet and be judged by a king of flesh and blood, who his punishment is a temporary punishment. It's only in this world. And his anger is only a temporary anger. It's only in this world. Even then I would be a little scared. But not so much, because it's temporary. But I'm not going in front of a king of flesh and blood. I'm going in front of the King of Kings, where if his punishment is a punishment, it's eternal punishment, Bar Minan. And if his anger is anger, it's eternal anger, Bar Minan. And I know that there are two options, Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai says. There's one door for Gan Eden, and there's one door for Gehenom. And I don't know which one they're going to put me in. Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai restarted the Torah, saved the Torah for the generations. Today we have Torah because of Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai. He's saying, I don't know which one I'm going to go to. Why are you so confident that you're going to go? Everybody thinks they're going to Gan Eden. They go to, tomorrow starts Slichot, and they're clapping and everybody's happy. What happy? You're saying to Hashem, I'm sitting in front of your face and I think it's okay. Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai is not so sure. Why are we so sure? What makes you so sure? What makes you so sure? What makes you so sure is delusion. Instead of the little boy that thinks the sun is a quarter, but in reality he finds out later on when he grows up that the sun is a giant, thousands of times larger than Earth, we, in some cases, have gotten to such a point where we're not like the little boy. We're worse than the little boy. What do we think? We think we're the sun. And the rest of the world is the quarter. Understand? So, today, the MUSSAR shiurim are helping a lot of people wake up. Because, Baruch Hashem, we have the merit, but it's still sad to me to hear that it's very rare for people to actually hear real Mussar in the English language. So, most important part right now is for us to understand that all of this Mussar is applicable all year round, all life round, for all levels, for all people, for religious. In Spanish it's zero, unfortunately. In English it's almost virtually zero, with the exception of myself and Rav Mizrahi and Rav Alon Nava. That's it. There's no, and there's a couple of other ones that do it as well, that are decent. But in general, it's virtually non-existent, and it's created a confused generation. And this is some of the things we're going to talk about today, of what it means to be confused, because this Judgment Day that we're talking about, this Rosh Chodesh Elul that we started, we have 40 days from now we're going to have Rosh Hashanah, that's Judgment Day, then you have Yom Kippur, which is the Appeal Day, but in reality we also have MaShiach, we also have end of life that everyone has to experience at some point. There's a lot of other days also. So we have to understand what all of this means, specifically pertaining to the fact that the Mashiach is nearly here. If we were in a generation of Noach, Noach is putting the last few nails in the ark. He's putting the last few nails in the ark. Now if you remember from Parashat Noach, once the ark was finished, the generation was finished. There was no like, oh, you know what, go walk around for another 3, 4, 5, 600 years. See if they want to do tshuva. He finished, it took him a long time, 120 years. Once he finished, Hashem's patience finished. So we are now in a generation of no different than Noach. With Hashem, it's going to be much better result, but nonetheless, Hashem is ready to close the store. Question is, are we ready? Are we ready to pay the bill? We have a big bill to pay in 40 days from now, Rosh Hashanah. And if we don't have enough, we have to come up with some more mitzvot by Yom Kippur, 10 days later. And somewhere in between now and whenever it's actually going to happen, a day from now, a year from now, 10 years from now, whenever it happens, we have to definitely have the full amount to pay when Judgment Day comes. When Mashiach comes, he's here, he's going to be able to smell our yirat shamayim. It says in the pasuk, he's going to be able to smell, now he's going to smell your avat Hashem. He's not going to smell your loving of Hashem. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say he's going to smell your money. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say he's going to smell the nice odor you have in your house. Definitely not that. What does it say? It says Mashiach is going to be able to smell your yirat shamayim. You have yirat shamayim? Past. No yirat shamayim, you still drive to Knesset on Shabbat? You're still eating salads at Subway, non-kosher place? You're still looking at girls every time they move next to you, like it's one of your pastime hobbies? You have no yirat shamayim? The next verse, the very following verse says, he destroys the people with his words. Kills them on the spot with words. Says one word, no weapons, no sword. This is not Arthur the knight. One word he said, finished. This is scary to me. This is because if Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai is scared, I wish one day we could be a little dust under his feet. You understand? So let's start with some questions, and Be'ezrat Hashem will give me the words to give you answers along the shiur. So, who wants to go first?
So there's a big misconception, I guess, based on what we're saying, that a lot of people think that if you're keeping Shabbat, if you're keeping like kashrut, right?
Mm-hmm.
That those are kind of like the pillars, and like you're kind of okay. So what more or less are like all of those stuff that you like, you know, the main things that need to be done for a guy and then a girl for the MaShiach to make sure that like he does smell the yirat shamayim.
Chazak, great question. Great question. Foundation of teshuva, men and women. Where do you stand? How do you know where you stand? It's a good question. Survive, MaShiach. It's a good question. No, Amos.
Key to survive.
Key to survive. It's good. That's it. No? Next.
You said you can discuss a little bit what happens like if you start
Missing
missing shiur
shiur Torah. Missing shiur Torah.
Let's say
Missing one shiur Torah, 5 shiur Torah. What happens? What happens? Missing shiur Torah.
you just said Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he was worried.
Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai is worried. We're not worried. We just go and we hang out.
He was worried and he was like Atana.
What about us?
And if we start thinking, how are we going to get to his level? We'll never be able to live.
Exactly.
We should just, like,
Okay, so Rabbi Yochanan versus us. Versus us. How could we stand up to Rabbi Yochanan?
Why did the Tanaim say that this generation they will fail?
You want an answer? You want to give the
No,
answer?
an answer. Like, they said something like that. Like, what does it exactly mean?
So we're going to say, what happens in the end of the days?
Yeah.
It's a good
The
shiur.
Tanaim, the
I wish
Tanaim-
I was coming to this shiur. I wish I know this shiur is going to be this good.
No, the Tanaim, they were afraid to be here.
If I would have publicized a shiur with this type of questions, 500 people would show up. Guys are good today. Good. No? Yeah, what's going to happen? MaShiach is here. How do we know we're going to survive? Yalla Fidel. No? You usually have good questions. Nothing? We retired? Or I scare you to death already with Ban Yochanan?
I'm speechless.
You're still speechless with Ban Yochanan. Honestly, I was thinking about it on the way here. And I'm thinking about Rabban Yochanan. Mamash, it's written in the Gemara. It's not like some pirush, like commentary, maybe, and maybe. No. This is Mamash Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai in Masechet Brachot, which is usually the first Masechet that someone reads in the Gemara. You're going to get to it, B'ezrat Hashem, it's the end of Masechet Brachot, like around the 60th page around. And I was thinking about Rabban Yochanan. Mamash, he says to his students, on his deathbed, you're going to Gan Eden. It's a Gan Eden, he tells you. He says there's 2 doors. I don't know which one I'm going to go in. And then he sees Chizkiyahu HaMelech come to take him. He says, oh, Chizkiyahu, get up everyone, Chizkiyahu HaMelech is here. He sees him, they don't see him. Chizkiyahu HaMelech already died generations before him. But he sees Chizkiyahu HaMelech, come, welcome to Olam Haba. So we knew good news. But he mamash, why did he get good news? Because his whole life, he was scared like he was scared to death. We think with Chizkiyahu is already next to us our whole life. You understand? That's the difference. No, yalla, next. He's taking your question today.
Who was the rabbi, the Tana, who said that if he was in this generation, he wouldn't make it?
If he was in generation, that's Arizal, it's not the Tana. Arizal said it, but it's also a Gemara. Okay, Pseder. All right.
Should we give ourselves a little break?
Pseder? Okay, so let's see. So, what did Tanaim say about Tanaim? Say about days of Mashiach.
Like today I heard about the Gemara in Sanskrit. I forgot the Torah, but he said like Adam Rishon was a lead and he gave like a whole list of stuff.
Why Adam Rishon was a sinner?
Yeah, like I thought, me,
How about I tell you something else?
me learning, I thought that he was a tzaddik. If I heard all my life. Now
He was a
this is
tzaddik.
my
He
life,
was a
most of my
tzaddik.
life.
He was a tzaddik, but the judgment of man is not judgment of Hashem. It's 2 different things, and it's very different. Very, very different. I'll even tell you another Gemara. Shlomo Melech, you know Shlomo Melech, Kodesh Kodashim. You know the Tanaim, when they were writing the Yerushalmi, it says that there is a part of Masechet Sanhedrin. They said there's 3 kings that have no share of the world to come. Yerovam, Achav, and I believe it was Menashe. But they wanted to write a 4th one. but then he did teshuva. So, long story short, they wanted to add a fourth name. In this Gemara, they wanted to add a fourth name. Who they wanted to add? They wanted to add Shlomo HaMelech. They wanted to add Shlomo HaMelech. They wanted to write. They wanted to write in the Gemara, Shlomo HaMelech has no share of the world to come. Why no share of the world to come? Why? It's Tanaim Kedoshim, Kodesh Kodashim. They pray net, tefillin all day. They go to minyanim. They learn Torah all day. They don't nothing. Their itbodedut, prayers everything. The beard, fresh. Tanaim Kedoshim are saying Shlomo HaMelech has no share of the world to come. It's very scary. It's very scary. Why they want to write it?
How do we know that Shlomo Melech does have that? He was writing.
So now we're going to wait for the shiur. Now we'll start with the shiur with that, because I don't want to forget it.
What about the Refuah Shlema? Usually do the whole thing.
Okay, we'll do the Refuah Shlema, B'ezrat Hashem. Okay, so you know what? Let's so this chidush about Shlomo HaMelech from the Gemara. Let's do it after we do the Refuah Shlema. So give me the list of Refuah Shlema. We have a list of Refuah Shlema. Okay, so B'ezrat Hashem, Hashem knows who's on the list of Refuah Shlema. B'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give them Refuah Shlema, and also the family of. Yeah, go. Dvorah bat Mercedes, have Refuah Shlema, and Yehuda ben Dvorah. Yehuda ben Dvorah, and Antonia Avila, David ben Netzria, Doris bat Jora, Rav Ephraim ben Chaim, ben Shulamit, and Chaim ben Sarah.
Mir Yisrael Herschel ben Zavat Tzipora.
Okay, slower.
Mir
Israel Herschel ben Zavat Tzipora. Refuah Shlema. Sarah Leah bat Sarah. And the whole family of the family of young kids that Shem Merachem had the major car accident. Had the car accident several days ago. And everyone is in a very, very difficult position. And Rabbi Grossman, Refuah Shlema, regardless, I don't know, but regardless, but the family in Cleveland is a very difficult situation. We saw a couple of videos of the mother. I don't know, personally, if anyone doesn't know the story, you should look on my page on Facebook. I have a little bit of experience with suffering. I have a little bit of experience with health hardship, and everyone knows my story. I don't need to repeat it. So when I heard this story and I saw the mother, mamash hysterical crying of what happened to her children, I don't know, my heart broke into 37 pieces, because I can't even imagine the pain she's dealing with. I know that for her, she rather go to bigger Gehenom that I went through for 7 years than even imagine her kids have pain. Any mother would. So I can't imagine the pain she's dealing with, but she's staying strong, Baruch Hashem, staying connected to Hashem Yitbarach, Baruch Hashem. And it really inspired me. It inspired me, and we decided, even though we're a small organization, we decided to, for their zchut, to donate 4,000 of the Asher Yatzar posters, and also, I didn't post it, but also 4,000 CDs, or 8,000 CDs. And to send them out to different people around the world to give them out. That was the original announcement we made a couple of days ago. Baruch Hashem, to help people do Asher Yatzar. It's a blessing specifically with pertaining to our health, and the time to do teshuva is now. If not now, when? So we got very, very good feedback, Baruch Hashem. A lot of people joined from all over the place. We've sent some CDs to Brazil, to Israel, to Bulgaria, to all over the United States, different places, even in Europe and Canada, several places, Baruch Hashem. Israel, yeah, we sent to Israel, at least maybe 400 or 500 to Israel. Australia, yes, Australia, maybe 500 also. But the thing is, the funny thing is that we're so excited about the mitzvah to connect Am Yisrael and to have a merit for this wonderful family. And B'ezrat Hashem, they're going to have Refuah Shlema very soon. If everybody actually gets the cards. Right now it's on the way to everyone. But if everyone gets the cards and actually uses it, and says Asher Yatzar, even one time, Alvai you do it your whole life, but even if you do it one time for their merit, then I know for sure they're going to have refuah shlema. But that's amazing. We're so excited about this mitzvah that we lost count. And I know for sure we passed 4,000. I think we're like at 5,000 or 6,000 already of the cards, and the CDs maybe at 10,000 or close to it. And but Bezat Hashem, it's I mean, we sent I don't know more than 50 packages maybe. So Baruch Hashem, it's amazing to see that people are willing to do some chesed. You know, it doesn't always require money. It just requires us to get up off of our butts and do something. So take 10 cards, put it in your Beit Knesset. Take another 10, put it in the kosher store. Take another 10, put it in the JCC. Take another 10, put it at a breast lift center. Take another 10. Within, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours of driving around, you put 10 in different places, you're finished. But now you have, each one you're planting seeds. You have 10 CDs, 10 cards. You never know. Somebody's going to pick up one of these things. You never know. Let me tell you guys something. The Zohar Kadosh says that if a person understood what teshuva really is, what to actually have somebody do teshuva really is, they would lose their mind. Meaning, they'd stop everything they're doing. No more going to the diamond district. No more going work for the factory. No more working in the stock market. No more working in the bank. Nothing. They stop everything, and they go look for chilonim. They go look for secular people, or the half-religious people that need to do tshuva, or the ones that look religious but really need to do tshuva more than all of us, because sometimes they're just wearing the clothing, but inside, rotten potatoes. So they go look for people that don't have yirat shamayim. Go look for them. Not wait, go give a shiur and hopefully people come. They go look for them in the streets. And keep doing everything they can to get them to do tshuva. Now, I heard this already years ago, Baruch Hashem. I never really understood it. I never understood it. Well, it sounds nice, sounds, exciting. But come on, like what does this mean? But I'll tell you a story. People like stories. I'll tell you a real story. About 2 years ago, I had a woman, nice woman, send me an email. And this woman said to me, listen, I've been listening to the shiur Torah you're doing, and it's great, and it's this, only, the usual Baruch Hashem compliments. And she says, listen, I'm not Jewish, but I want to be Jewish. I'm not Jewish, but I want to be Jewish. And I need help. I need help to convert. I need help to learn. I need help. Now, unfortunately, we live in a generation that's so confused that even if someone already converted, a full, great, kosher conversion with a recognized bedin, they keep all the mitzvot, wife has kisui rosh, the husband has kippah shchora, that's, she's seriously religious, he dresses modest, she dresses modest, they keep mitzvot, they learn Torah, they do everything good. Even then, in this generation, such fools will prejudice against them. Why? No, he wasn't born Jewish. What do you mean he wasn't born Jewish? He's considered higher than you, you idiot. In Hashem's eyes, a convert is considered higher than a natural born Jew. Why? He chose Hashem. You were born by default. Default. That's why in Amidah, you do Amidah, prayer of Amidah 3 times a day. You say the names of the converts, the blessing come to the converts before you say Aleinu. Before you say on us. Why? They're higher than you. So we're so confused now that even after they convert, we're already prejudiced anyway. Why? Because he's black, because he's Spanish, because he's green, because he's this, because he's not you. Why? Because you have gava, he doesn't. So your gava is getting in between you two. If you kick the gava out of the house, you guys will be friends. You kick the pride out of the house, you guys will be friends. But your pride is causing problems. So people are already prejudiced against converts in many cases, not all cases, in many cases, even when they have no reason to be. Now here we have a case of someone coming to me, hasn't converted yet, nothing. Just like the shiur Torah. Now I could easily do what most people would do, which is, good luck. Ashreich, good job that you want to convert. Baruch Hashem, good luck. What's it to me? Well, I have to go teach you, send you, what do I have to do? Why? I don't owe you anything. If you're a convert, no problem. I'm commanded by the Torah 36 different times that I have to love you more than I love a natural born Jew. So when a husband marries, a Jewish husband, or even a convert that becomes Jew, and he loves his wife, he's making 2 mitzvot. When you love a regular natural born Jew, you make 1 mitzvah when you love your wife. When you love a convert, you make 2 mitzvot. Because 1, she's a Jew, so loving them is mitzvah. But 2, loving a convert. Loving convert is another mitzvah. So the husband that marries a convert, a righteous convert, not the fake converts. Fake converts, that's Amalek. Fake converts, that's Erev Rav, that's garbage. That's destroying Am Yisrael. But I'm talking about real converts, he makes 2 mitzvot. So now, is a privilege. But at the same token, that's a convert. Someone didn't convert yet, you don't owe him anything. You want to help him, but you don't have to. You don't have to. So, my choices were pretty clear. 1, do nothing. Thank you. Keep watching the shiurs. Find a rabbi that can help you. Good luck. Choice number 2 is send her the KIRUV package. And say, stay in touch, I'll answer all your questions, and B'ezrat Hashem, try to do whatever I can to help. Now, someone had to have donated that KIRUV package. Because as you all know, I lost everything, as far as money is concerned, and gained everything in reality, which is Torah, Baruch Hashem. But I don't have money. So somebody had to have donated this $95 that it cost to make a KIRUV package. $95, not $50 million. $95, it's less than a dinner for 2 people. Yeah, with everything. $95, finished. Gets to you if it's in America. If it's overseas, it's more. It's 150, sometimes 200, depends where it goes. But in America, anywhere in America, we have the book, the CDs, the extra cards, the different shayatzal, everything, all the different packages. Sometimes we add stuff to it because it's catered to that specific person. So, for example, if it's a woman that's in the last stages of conversion, she needs to learn about Taharat Mishpacha, so we add another book about Taharat Mishpacha, about family purity. If it's a guy that's struggling with, let's say, about Shabbat, so we add a Shabbat book. If it's, different things. But the standard package, $95. Either way, 99% of them, free. Why? Because Hashem gives the merits of the ones that donate to donate, and the ones that get, to get. And they're not always the same person. The ones that get don't always necessarily want to donate, but no problem. Or sometimes they don't have. But anyway, somebody had to have donated this $95. Okay? I've sent, Baruch Hashem, hundreds of KIRUV packages over the last several years. Even before I started doing lectures, I sent hundreds of KIRUV packages. But every one of them, I look at it, I want to make the package. I'm excited about every package. Why? Every package is like a little dream. Every package is like a potential. Who knows what's going to happen with this package? This person is going to be tzaddik. He can throw it in the garbage. He could be great. He could be, MaShiach. Who knows who this person could be? Get this book, changes his life. Get this CD, changes his life. He has kids. He has this. Who knows what's going to happen? 2 years ago, I sent a package, cost $95. Fast forward the story. Today, this woman is not only a Jew. Not only she finished the conversion. She's married to a righteous Jew. Married to a righteous Jew, learns Torah every day. On top of that, he does KIRUV. Every day, he does KIRUV. Every day, he learns Torah. Every day, prays with minyan. Every day, works on Mussar. Every day, they constantly look for ways to get Am Yisrael to do teshuva. And Baruch Hashem, they're building a holy house of Judaism, because B'ezrat Hashem, they're going to have a baby very soon. $95, you just created 3 lives. Forget saved, you created 3 lives. Who knows how much more? Every single mitzvah goes to that account. You understand what's happening here? I only understood 2 years later what the Zohar Kadosh was saying. You go chase people. Why? $95. You've lost $95. Forget about spend. You lost $95 and you went, okay, you know what? I lost $100 bill falls off your pocket. Okay, nobody commits suicide over $100. You lost $100. It's a little annoying. 20 minutes later, you finish. You're over. You're on with your life. Someone donated $95. They just created 3 neshamot. And Be'ezrat Hashem, many, many more. Countless mitzvot. The Bet Din that I took her to said, from now on, we're making a new rule because of you. What's the rule? They said, excuse me, ma'am. You're converting today, Baruch Hashem. We've asked you questions, Baruch Hashem. You passed the test, Baruch Hashem. Everything is wonderful. Everything is wonderful. But we only have one question, but it's not on the script. We don't have it. It's not on the script. But we have a question for you. You're not married, right? No, I'm not married. So why are you wearing kisui rosh? Why are you wearing kisui rosh? Why are you wearing the scarf on your head? You're not married. Only a Jewish woman wears kisui rosh when she's married. Why are you wearing kisui rosh? She says, because my rabbi told me that righteous women wear kisui rosh. He goes, yeah, but only after you're married. You don't have to. She goes, yes, I understand. But since I had to give you a picture to put on my conversion certificate, today I'm not married, but one day I'm going to be married, Be'ezrat Hashem. And someone's going to see this certificate. I don't want them to see me without kisui rosh, because when they see me, I'm already married. The Bet Din at that moment looked at me and said, from now on we're making a new rule because of this woman. $95. We made a new rule in the Bet Din. One of the top Bet Dins in America. Do you understand? So that's when I started understanding. And I'm still every day, every time I see good things with this family, I still learn more and see. That's why the Zohar Kadosh says you can start chasing people. Why? Because even if it's 1 out of 1,000 packages turns like this, it's worth it. 1 out of 1,000,000 packages turns like this, it's worth it. You bought a Olam Haba. So the question is here, how can you lose it? How can you lose it? Shlomo HaMelech almost lost it. Shlomo HaMelech almost lost it. Why did he almost lose it? The Gemara says because at the end of his life, it's written in the books, the last few verses, it's written that Hashem wasn't happy with his actions due to his wives. He had 1,000 wives, and some of them tried, they didn't succeed, they tried to make him idol worship. They tried to make him an idolater. He didn't. Kodesh Kodeshim Shlomo HaMelech. But the Gemara says they tried to convince him to do idolatry, and it says the Chachamim said it was worth it for him not to ever be mentioned in the Torah at all. It was worth it for him to be a drunk in the middle of the street, homeless, than for this verse to be written about him in the Torah. It was better for him to be homeless in the middle of the street, no one knows he exists, than it written in the books that they tried to make him an idol worshiper. Tried, not succeed, chas v'shalom. Tried to make him an idol worshiper. And because of that, they said maybe he put himself in sakana. Maybe he should have thought better. He shouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. Maybe we're going to, you know what? Maybe we're going to take off his olam haba. A bat kol from shamayim, a bat kol, a heavenly voice from shamayim, said, what's it to you? Are you the one that pays him or doesn't pay him? The olam haba, where it comes out of your account? Leave it alone. They said, we don't listen alacha from bat kol. We don't learn alacha from bat kol. Based on what our understanding is, it's a safek of whether you should have olam haba or not for this. David HaMelech, Kodesh Kodeshim, came from Gan Eden. Came from Gan Eden to the Sanhedrin. Came to the Sanhedrin, started crying on the floor. Don't write on the Gemara that my son, Shlomo HaMelech, does not have share of the world to come. What does he care? Who are these people? They're bigger than David HaMelech. Why does he care? Because if it's written in the Torah, It's written in shamayim. When Hashem Yitbarach created the Torah, He created rules for us and Him. Not just for us. Don't do this, do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this, do this. No! He said to Himself, I have to give limitations to myself. Why? Because I have to be known as El Melech Ne'eman. Amen. Maze El Melech Ne'eman? The God, the King, that's reliable. What means reliable? Faithful. What does it mean faithful? Whatever I say goes. Amen. End. I say it never changes. Never changes. Doesn't matter generation, doesn't matter what sect, doesn't matter what culture, doesn't matter what country, doesn't matter what year, doesn't matter nothing. I say it stays. The end. So that means that if I like him because he's cute and he's funny and he's sweet and he's this and he's that, and he gives tzedakah, and he gives this, but he's a mechalel Shabbat, and I want to give him Gan Eden because he's cute, and he's funny, and he's sweet, and he's this, and he's that, and everything. But he's mechalel Shabbat. Even though I love him, he's my creation, I created him. I am not allowed by my own rules in the Torah to put him in Gan Eden. I am not allowed to put him in Gan Eden. Not only not allowed to put him in Gan Eden, he has to go to the Gehenom, chas v'shalom, an endless amount of time. Why? Because he said every time he turned on the car on Shabbat, regardless of where he was going, Beit Knesset or the bar or the pub or the game, every time he turned on the car on Shabbat, he said, by the way, God, I don't believe in you. Shem Elechem. That's what he said. So I can't give him Gan Eden when he's spitting in my face. Even though I like him because he's funny and he's cute and he gives tzedakah and he built a house and he built 2 houses and he did all these nice things and I like him and he's cute and everything and I created him. He's my baby. But my own Torah said I'm not allowed. So the Chachamim, Chazal, said the Torah, in this situation, Shlomo HaMelech was not really allowed to put himself in such risk. Because it says in the Torah, don't have too many wives. There's a limit. You're allowed to have multiple wives. You're allowed to have 18 wives. No problem. 18 wives, no problem. You had 1,000 wives. Not because Shlomo was sick or something like that. Because he wanted to bring the MaShiach. He wanted to bring peace, world peace. So he figured every country I'm going to have a wife. They're going to have peace with me. If there's world peace, Mashiach's going to come. That was his logic. He was very smart. He's the wisest man of all time. Makes perfect sense. Hashem says, no. That's cheshbonot of this world. I have different cheshbonot. I'll bring the Mashiach whenever I feel like it. I'll bring the Mashiach whenever I feel like it. You made a mistake. You shouldn't have married 1,000 women. So Chazal said he made a mistake. He made a big mistake. Why? Because maybe he would have failed. How does he know he's going to pass the test with a beautiful woman? Tells him, listen, not only you're my husband, not only I'm the queen, but listen, by the way, Baba over here, or Buddha, or whatever it is, some ugly little statue, I pray to it, and you should pray to it also. How do you know? How do you know you're going to pass the test? Who are you to say you're not going to pass the test? So Chazal was saying, maybe we have to write it, because if we write it, it's the end. In shamayim, Hashem says, that's it, that's the law. That's the law. If it's deen in this world, it's deen in shamayim. So David HaMelech, Kodesh Kodeshim, comes, starts crying to them in the Bedin. Starts crying to them in the Bedin. They say, listen, we don't listen to David HaMelech, he already left. He's in a different world. David HaMelech, thank you very much for coming. We're not listening. They still wanted to continue. They still wanted to write in the book, in the Gemara, in Masechet Sanhedrin, they wanted to write Shlomo HaMelech as no share of the world to come. Hashem created a fire that scared all of them. And they ran away, they didn't write it.
Does it say who it was in the Gemara?
Ken. Some of the big giants. Ken.
Tell me, Shlomo Melech was so smart. How can he make such a mistake, marry 1,000 women?
I made a lesson before.
Yeah.
Why could such a smart person to make such a big mistake? Simply because he's still human. He's still human. You still have Yetzirah. You still have your own logic. You're still going to make mistakes. It doesn't matter. No one is God. The only one that doesn't make mistakes is God. He's divine. Everyone else is subject to mistakes, subject to Yetzirah. So now, this is one of the great things that we have to learn, that everyone is at risk. Everyone's at risk. So the only way that we can actually beat this risk of chas v'shalom, losing olam haba, is to at the very least understand that we have to be scared. because if Shlomo Melech's Olam Haba, well, had some balagan in it and possibly almost lost it. Almost. He's not, he doesn't lose it. There's a loose, loose screw over there. Almost. Us, we can't be so sure. So what's the cure? The cure we're going to learn from this Mishnah, Be'ezrat Hashem. We're going to learn from this Mishnah. Somehow we're going to learn from this Mishnah. Hashem Yitbarach is going to give us the answers. U'aya omer. U'aya omer means that's the same Tana that we spoke about yesterday, the previous Mishnah, is continuing. U'aya omer, which means Ben Azai, Al ti'ivaz lekol adam ve'al ti'maflig lekol davar she'en lecha adam she'en lo sha'a ve'en lecha davar she'en lo makom. So U'aya omer, Ben Azai says, do not be scornful to any person, do not be disdainful to anything, for you have no person without his hour, and you have no thing without its place. This somehow is going to answer all your questions, B'ezrat Hashem. How? B'ezrat Hashem, we'll see what happens. So, Ben Azai Kodesh Kodeshim, the symbol of Chassidut, symbol of piety. Not Chassidut like Chassidut Chabad. I'm talking about Chassidut meaning that they do above the law. Above the law of what's obligated from them in shamayim, they do above the law.
They don't do leniencies at all, right?
No, they extra. By definition, a Chassid does extra. Extra what's expected from him. But the most important part of being a Chassid... Right. More. Shulchan Aruch is basic. Shulchan Aruch is the basic level Jews supposed to do. They do more than Shulchan Aruch. But what's the most important part of a Chassid? He tells you right here. He tells you right here. What's the most important part of being a Chassid? Most important part. Most important part, he says, Al ti'ivaz lekol adam. Most important part, don't be scornful to any person. Why is the most important part? He could have picked anything. Could have said, most important part is don't be mean to people. That's the most important part of being a Chassid. Say, the most important part, I don't know, go to the oil in 770 over there. Go to the oil, Lubavitcher Rebbe or something. Wear black and white. Nice hat, big kippah, beard, nice. Groom it. Says, most important part of being Chassid, Kodesh Kodeshim, he says, don't be mean to people. But not just people, to anyone.
Even to the people who got you angry.
Yeah, anyone. Why? The Gemara says, there's 3 specific people, you should never ever under any condition be mean to them. A goy katan, a nachash katan, and a talmid katan. 3 different things. Goy katan, small little nobody. Small snake. Average guy, blue collar guy. Never be mean to him. Not a Jew. Talk about non-Jew. Little snake. And a little guy just started learning Torah, Baal Tshuva, new convert, doesn't know much. Or a little boy just started learning. So why? Why don't be mean to them specifically? Why does the Gemara specifically focus on these people? It says, because you're never going to know what's going to happen after they get big. Now the little snake, all snakes are born little, but one day it could be anaconda. It could be a giant snake, eat you and the family. Don't play with snakes. This is logical. But what about the Goy Katan, Talmid Katan? He says, Goy Katan, the non-Jew, never ever be mean to him. Never ever be mean to anybody. But he specifically mentions it here, never be mean to a nobody. Why? Because everyone has its time. There's a time that everyone can change eternity. Everyone is given a chance at some point in their life to turn the tides, to turn everything, to change everything. So there's a famous story in the Gemara about this pig farmer. Pig farm, he farmed pigs. This is the worst possible job you can have. All day you're in feces. All day you're in feces. So the Jewish people, some of them weren't exactly tzaddikim, they started making fun of him. Not only are you hanging out with pigs that are ugly and disgusting, you're in there with them. You became one of the pigs. So they make fun of him, and to teach Am Yisrael how you're never allowed to be not nice to anybody, Hashem turns the tides. They used to call this guy Duka the pig. Duka, the pig. Yeah, Duka the pig. Duka the pig. In English, he's called Diocletian. Diocletian the pig. So the Jews would call him that, throw rocks at him, make fun of him. Hashem says, you're not allowed to do that. He's still my creation. Who are you to be not nice to him? What does he do? He turns him into the Roman emperor. He turns him into the new Caesar. There's a Jewish guy, the pig guy. Duka. Duka's non-Jew, pig farmer. He becomes the new Caesar. Immediately becomes new Caesar. He's rich. He's powerful. Kill everybody just like that. What do the Jews do? Jews run to his castle. Say, hey, I was sorry. This, ho. He goes, no. I'm going to kill all of you. You guys made fun of me. No, we didn't make fun of you. We made fun of Duka the pig. You're now Duka the Caesar. You're not the same person. He says, but you still made fun of me. I'm not going to punish you now, but you better watch your back. You better watch your back. But he forced all of these people to go, mamash, to beg for their life. From who? Not from someone that became holy. From a just average blue-collar guy. Why? You're not allowed to be not nice to people. Not allowed. Doesn't matter who it is. Not allowed to be not nice to people. Okay.
They were nice to him when he was young. That's what he called them the Jews.
So now, I don't know. I mean, some say a Jew saved his life. Some say that they weren't mean to him. But point being is that as a Jew, as a shomer mitzvot Jew, you're not allowed to be not nice, prejudiced, or racist, or anything like that to anyone. To anyone, to Jew, to non-Jew, anything. And a specific Gemara about it.
Like Bill Gates said, no? Be careful to make fun of a nerd.
Eventually going to work for him. Exactly. Yeah, chazak. Yeah. You have to be careful making fun of a nerd because eventually you're going to work for him. The nerds are the ones that become millionaires. Not the cool guy in school. Right? Yeah, all the guys, all the people that are very, very successful usually were nerds in school. They weren't popular. They weren't the guys that were making parties. The guys making parties are usually the cops and fire guys and decent people, but they're not, most of them are not ultra successful. Why? Because they're still partying at 47 years old. They're still going to the bars. I got a few people that I know from my childhood. Not stockbroker, from my childhood, from, high school, junior high school. Still to this day, they're in their 40s, they still go to clubs. I said, you're going to clubs, you're 40 years old, there's 20-year-olds, you're hanging out with 20-year-olds. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What are you doing there? You're 40. You should own the club, if anything. Well, you don't go there. You don't go there. Were you breakdancing? What's wrong with you? You're 40 years old. It doesn't look good. One of the most, my wife, God bless her, she tells me, there was a very famous movie star, celebrity. I believe it was Claudio Cardinale, but it's not sure. I'm not 100% sure. But it was a very, very classy celebrity that maybe in like the 60s, 70s, that said something that if any celebrity said it today, she'd lose her resume. Forget, she'd lose all jobs. She would never give her another job. What'd she say? She said, any woman, regardless of anything, any woman that's 30 years old or above should never, ever, ever even think about putting a bathing suit on again. Any woman that's 30 years old or above should never put on a bathing suit again. Why? It's not for you. It's not for you. Now, Baruch Hashem, I haven't gone to the beach in a very long time, or pools or anything like that. But I know that when you go to those places, who is in the bikini and the bathing suit and everything? 50, 60-year-old women. Mamash, craziness. So,
they're the only ones that have time to sin.
the only thing. So now, Ben Azai Omer, you have to be nice to people. Second thing he said, second thing in this other Gemara it says, don't be mean to a small Talmid, regular guy. Why? Because you never know, maybe he's going to be Gdol Hador. Maybe he's going to be Gdol Hador. Rabbi Akiva, 40 years old, comes to the yeshiva, says, Kvod Harav, I need to learn Torah. I need to, okay, great, sit down. No. Well, here's a problem. I don't know how to read yet. So I need to learn Aleph Bet first. Because Aleph Bet, we don't teach Aleph Bet in yeshiva. This is Talmidim Chachamim here. You go to kindergarten and learn Aleph Bet. So you have to go to kindergarten and learn Aleph Bet. Initially he didn't want to go. He had to argue with his wife. She had to convince him to do it. Eventually learn Aleph Bet. Then he went to yeshiva. Then everything continued. Baruch Hashem, 24 years later, biggest rabbi in the world. 24,000 students. 24,000 students, they say when Rabbi Akiva was at such a high level that he'd figure out all details. After Rabbi Akiva died, no one was able to figure out or even be able to look into all the details he would. Why? Because for him, even the letters, the way the letters of the Hebrew alphabet were written, he could find out Torah secrets from it. And Be'ezrat Hashem, if I remember, I'm going to teach you a Torah secret from the letters of the alphabet today. Something special. Chidush, beautiful, amazing. Chidush has to do with MaShiach. So, Rabbi Akiva had to go, nothing. If the rabbis in that generation were like many rabbis of this generation, somebody comes to them and tells, I need to learn Aleph Bet. What do? They beat him up. They throw him out. They say, don't ever come back here again. You shagits, you idiot, you whatever. Get out of here. Go back to the farm. Go clean some horses. How do I know that? Because sometimes you have Baalei Tshuva. They come to the yeshiva. They want to learn. If they're not Ashkenazi, or they're not a specific type of Sephardi, or they're not from a specific rich family, or they're not from this, or they don't fit that specific rabbi's criteria, they don't let them come. Not only that, even if they're religious, even if they're ultra-religious, Charedim, Kodesh Kodeshim, everything is God. They go to yeshiva, it's like, no, we don't accept your type. What do you mean you don't accept my type? I'm not Jewish? No, you're Jewish, but you're not Ashkenazi. Or you're not this, or you're not that. I'm a Jew. What's wrong with being a Jew? No, you're a different type of Jew. There's places for you. No, there's no places for me. The next place for me is 3 hours from here. I don't want to move. You're here. You're 5 minutes from my house. Why can't I go to yeshiva? 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. Can't accept them? Why? Reshaim. It's the only explanation for it. With the beard and the hat. And call themselves religious. Reshaim. Why? You ever deny a person from learning Torah, by definition, you are a Rasha. What's my proof? Proof is, one of the people, it says, 3 kings, no share of the world to come. Sin Gemara Masechet Sanhedrin. After that, it says 4 regular people have no share of the world to come. One of them is Gehazi. Gehazi knew a lot of Torah, ton of Torah. Why? His rabbi was Elisha the prophet. Elisha the prophet. Who's Elisha the prophet? Who's his rabbi? Eliyahu Navi. So Elisha the prophet took over the family business after Eliyahu Navi. And Hashem Yitbarach gave him even more powers than Eliyahu Navi. He asked Hashem, what do you want? I want double what Eliyahu Navi had. Hashem gave it to him. They said the miracles that Elisha Navi did were bigger than Eliyahu Navi. So his student, Gehazi, they say he has no share of the world to come. Why no share of the world to come? Because one time Elisha made a miracle where this Goy king, had tzarat, and no one was able to heal him. They said, listen, there's this Chacham, this Jewish guy, he's a miracle worker. Why don't you just bring him here? He'll heal you. So they go send for Elisha. Elisha says, I'm not going in. You can tell him to come here. Why? Because he says, we learned later on, there's a process here. So the king, what's he going to do? He's tzarad, he's in pain, he's in agony, he's in this. What's he going to do? So he goes all the way to him, and Elisha doesn't even go outside. He gives instructions to Gehazi, go tell him to go to Yam HaMelach. Go somewhere. He doesn't even see him. Because I'm a king. He has people. He has hundreds of thousands of people following him everywhere he goes, putting flowers on the floor just so he doesn't step on the floor. And this guy is not even willing to see me. He tells me to just go somewhere. So even his helpers are saying, listen, Your Honor, I understand he's not being so nice here. But what do you care? You have a disease here, you want to solve it. Just, you listen to everybody else, it didn't work. What do you care of listening to this guy? What do you care? He's not even charging you any money. Long story short, he goes, he follows, he gets healed. He's so impressed that he goes to see Elisha the prophet, and he says, your God is amazing, I want to be part of it, I want to be a Jew. I want to be a Jew. And here's my present to you. He wants to give him tons of gold and wealth and diamonds, all types of wonderful things. Elisha the prophet says, no, no, thank you, we don't take money. We don't take money. Hashem pays. I did it purely for Kiddush Hashem. All the money in the world is not worth an ounce of Kiddush Hashem. 1 penny of Kiddush Hashem is worth more than all the money that ever existed from the beginning of the world until the end of the world. He says, I don't want any money. You now want to be a Jew? That's already great. That's amazing. That's the ultimate. Even if you would have just said, God is great, that would have been amazing. Now you want to be a Jew? Baruch Hashem, it's great. No problem. So the question is, why did he make him go through all this balagan? Why did he see him? Why didn't he talk to him? Why was he nice to him? It says here in the Mishnah, you're not allowed to be not nice. It goes against the Mishnah, right? So what does Chazal say? No. The king, because he was a king, even though he was suffering in pain, even though he was in agony, even though he was sick, even though everything was happening, he's still the king, which means he still had ga'ava, he still had pride. And for Hashem Yitbarach to help you, first thing first, destroy your pride. So Elisha saw that he has a good heart. Saw that he had a good heart. He says, but he has one thing, he has a little bit of pride in his heart. In order for my miracles to work, that Hashem Yitbarach is going to allow me to do any miracle, to do anything, I have to kill the pride. Because if there's pride, there's no God. Hashem Yitbarach says, if there's a place, if a person is prideful, I can't be there. Why I can't be there? Because if he has pride, he thinks he's God. And there's only one God, not two gods. So if he has pride, I can't be next to him. He disgusts me. It's called To'avat Hashem. Disgusting to Hashem. Someone that's prideful, that's arrogant, Hashem can't be next to him. He's disgusted from him. Just like you're disgusted of feces. Even more so, Hashem is disgusted with somebody that is pride. He goes, why is he disgusted? He said, he's wearing my robe and he's pretending to be the king. It's my robe. You didn't even buy the robe. You didn't even buy the robe with your own money. You stole my robe, and you're pretending while you're cleaning my room. You could predict, cleaning guy, cleaning the king's room. The king's not in the room. He's somewhere else in the castle, big castle. So what does the cleaning guy do while he's vacuuming? He takes one of the king's robes, and he pretends to be the king. He looks at the mirror. You do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. Who are you? You're the cleaning guy. He says, this is a guy with pride. This is a guy, he stole the king's robe, he's pretending to be the king. There's no more chutzpah than that. He goes, I can't be in the same room with him. Who's this guy? So Elisha, the prophet, knew that pride and Hashem don't go together. So he had to kill his pride. He killed his pride because he didn't give him any kavod. For the first time in his life, he didn't get kavod. And that's why the blessing worked, and he healed him. So now, where does Gehazi come in? Gehazi comes in where he sees his rabbi, has an opportunity to make bank. He has an opportunity to win not $600 million with the lotto. $6 billion, right now, $6 billion cash. Cash. No taxes, no nothing. $6 billion cash. And he said, no thank you. He says, no thank you. Gehazi's heart fell to the floor. He couldn't take it. The king left. He doesn't know what just happened. He's like, listen, how many kolelim can we buy with this money? How many talmidei chachamim we could do? All the mitzvot in the world we can do. We could, maybe somehow we could find Moshe Rabbeinu where he's buried with all this money. How many mitzvot we can do? We can build a kolel and another kolel. We could turn the world into a kolel. You're saying no? He can't take it. He doesn't know what to do. So while Elisha is back to his Torah, he's back to Kedusha. He's not cares. He doesn't think about it. It's not like you and me that right now is suffering just because of the story. He's back to Torah. Gehazi runs after the king. He says, no, your honor. No, my master, he's very humble. He's very humble. He's not going to take money from you. He's not going to take money from you. It's not nice. You know, it says, Gemara Masechet Sanhedrin, page 56, that even if you give a rabbi, money, cash in his hand, it's not appropriate. If you give him money, you have to give it to him in an envelope. In an envelope, or to give it to one of his helpers, if he has a helper. Or to put it in a tzedakah box. Don't give it to him in his hand. Why don't give it to him in his hand? Because eventually you become too friendly to the point where you're going to say, he's only here for the money. You're going to lose kavod for him. Why? Because the money somehow connects you to be overly friendly and lose kavod for the Rav of being a Rav. Gemara, Masechet Sanhedrin, look at it. So now, Gehazi says, he's very humble. He's not going to take money from you. I'm his helper. So he needs a little clothes, a new wardrobe, a few things, a few that. So the king says, no problem. No problem. I'll give him whatever he wants. Whatever he wants, I'll give him. No problem. But now in his heart he says, maybe he did do it for the money. I'm still impressed. He healed me after all, saved my life. But maybe there was a little bit of part of him that did it for the money. So I'm just going to be a righteous Noahide. I'm not going to convert. I'm not going to convert. I'm not going to convert my whole country. I'm not going to convert my family. Nothing. I'm going to be a righteous Noahide. He was righteous, no problem. Gemara in Sanhedrin says, Gehazi just destroyed a nation. En lo chelek l'olam haba. When he came back to Elisha, Elisha said, where'd you get this stuff? He goes, no, a few things. He goes, where'd you get this stuff? Oh, a few things. He goes, all the klalot that were on him, all the curses, the sicknesses and everything will go on you and your entire descendants forever. May you never ever heal. All of his family, him, everybody else, mamash, klala, cursed for eternity. He cursed them for eternity. Why curse him for eternity? Just say, hey, listen, stupid, go return the money. He says, no, his heart already changed. You just destroyed a nation of Jews. A nation of Jews. You thought you did something small. You got me a few jackets, like I care about the jackets, or a few $1 million, like I care about the few $1 million. You just destroyed eternity for millions of people. So here, Ben Azai is telling us this is one of the major reasons of why you have to be nice to everyone. You have to be honest to everyone. You can't underestimate anyone, because even someone small can end up being big. Someone like doesn't know the alphabet at 40 years old, divorced with a kid, got remarried, second marriage. All of a sudden, 24 years later, he's the biggest rabbi in history. Rabbi Akiva. At the same token, someone that had much bigger opportunities than him. Much bigger opportunities. Gehazi had Elisha, the prophet, miracle worker, as his rabbi. He was with him. He knew a lot of Torah, Gehazi. What do you think he didn't know Torah? His rabbi is Elisha. You know how much Torah he knew? One small action destroyed eternity. Destroyed eternity, not just for him, for millions of people. Millions of people, from one stupid little thing, for money, for shtiyot, for garbage.
You said yesterday, one more second.
One more second changes everything. Chazak u'baruch. One more second. So, this also pertains to what we also talked about yesterday. Sometimes people think of themselves a little bit too much. Sometimes. I wish it was only sometimes. But here, the Mishnah is telling us everybody's a big deal. Everyone's a big deal. To such an extent that you're never allowed to disrespect any of Hashem's creations, saying, what is this for? What is this for? David HaMelech one time said to Hashem, why'd you create wasps, spiders, and drunk people for? For what? What do you need these things for? What do you need these things for? Hashem Yitbarach answered him, and he says, in your life, you think it's shtuyot, in your life, you are going to beg for these shtuyot to help you. In your life, you're going to beg for them to help you. One day, Shaul HaMelech was chasing him, trying to kill him. David HaMelech runs into a cave. The Midrash Ben Sirah, the son of Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah, the prophet, had a Midrash called Ben Sirah. His name was Ben Sirah. And he wrote a Midrash, and he wrote about this story because Nebuchadnezzar, the king, asked him some questions, some unusual questions, and he says the story about David HaMelech because Nebuchadnezzar had the same question. Nebuchadnezzar asked the question of Jeremiah's son, who was a giant in Torah. It's like, why did Hashem create these bugs, these drunk people, for what? He goes, oh, David HaMelech asked the same question. Oh, okay, what did he say? This is what he said. He told the story. What's the story? Shaul HaMelech, King Saul in English, was Kodesh Kodashim. Gemara says, if the roles were turned, and King David was the king first, and Shaul was the younger, and King David was chasing Shaul, Shaul HaMelech was so righteous that Hashem would have let Shaul kill King David. So the Christians that don't use our old Torah think that Shaul HaMelech was a Rasha. They're idiots. If they learn about Shaul HaMelech, they know he's Kodesh Kodashim. As a matter of fact, one of the major things we learn in Gemara Masechet Megillah is that he was a very, very modest man, very ultra modest man, and because of his modesty, he was gifted. Who was gifted? The descendant of Shaul HaMelech that saved the people, saved the nation, the entire nation. No? Purim. Who saved the nation? Purim? Esther. Chazaku Baruch. Esther saved the entire nation. She's a descendant of Shaul HaMelech. Why did he get the gift of Esther? Because he was modest. And she was modest. Modest, midah keneged midah. So anyway, one day Shaul HaMelech thought that David was a hodef, was trying to steal his kingdom. He didn't know that Hashem dictated that he's going to be the king. So he chased him. So King David didn't want him. David didn't want to kill him. He knew he was a tzaddik. He knew he was making a mistake, but he wouldn't listen. So he didn't want to kill him. He just wanted to run away. So he ran away. Went into a cave, but eventually they're going to get to the cave. Hashem made a miracle where spider made a bunch of webs, blocked the cave. As soon as Shaul HaMelech got there, says, there's no way that anybody's in here because it would have ruined the whole webs. So this is the first proof. Hashem says, see, you're begging for this miracle. Look what I did for you. From the thing you thought was shtuyot, was nonsense. Second thing is, one of the times he went to the camp of Shaul HaMelech, but to show him that he's his friend, he's not his enemy, while he's sleeping, he took his sword. But Avner, one of the servants, the general of Shaul HaMelech, was huge and strong. His leg got in the way and he couldn't move it. So he started praying to Hashem, Hashem, help me. What am I going to do? If I move, he's going to wake up, they're going to kill me. And I just want to take his sword just to show him that I took your sword and I could have killed you, but I'm not killing you. Why? Because I love you. I don't hate you. To prove a point. But now I don't want to lose my life. So what do? Hashem made a miracle. A wasp came and stung him, and he moved his leg. He didn't wake up and start crying like we would. He moved his leg. For him, it was nothing. He just moved. Like for him, it was like a mosquito bite.
It was like so strong, it would be able to lift the
Right.
world.
So now, second thing Hashem says, look what happened. My little wasp that you thought was nothing. Look what it did for you.
What about
The
mosquitoes?
third thing is, he didn't ask about mosquitoes. If we already have an answer for the other ones, we definitely have answers for mosquito. The other one, last one, is Achish. Achish the king, the Goy king. And they caught David HaMelech. And Achish, his wife and his daughter were both crazy. Both of them went crazy. So David HaMelech started praying to Hashem and said, as soon as I get to the king, they're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. Hashem, help me. Hashem, help me. What do I do? Hashem gave him the idea to act like a drunk. Act like a crazy person. So as soon as they brought King David to the castle, King David's like, he's making, all types of things. He's making himself look like a fool. So there's a verse in the book of Samuel. It says, don't I have enough crazy people in this house? You're bringing me another crazy guy. You think this is King David, you idiots. You think this is King David is Kodesh Kodashim. He's a holy man, he's a respectable man, honorable man, he's a king. You think he's just walking around? You brought me a homeless guy, you brought me. So Hashem Yitbarach showed him, see, the things you thought were shtiyot, all three of them saved your life. All three of them saved your life. So one of the things we learned from this Mishnah that Ben Azai is telling us is you're never allowed to... No, it's okay. You're never allowed to disrespect any of Hashem's creation simply because every single thing that exists in the world has a purpose. There's no such thing as a purposeless creation. So much so that even the creation knows it. Have you ever seen anybody work on a piece of equipment, work on a piece of wood, work on a piece of anything, on a computer, for no reason? He built something for no reason. You ask him, why'd you build this chair? No reason. To sell it? No. Somebody sit on it? No. To look at it? It's pretty? No. Why'd you get it? Nothing. No reason. You ever see such a thing? Somebody made something. You put them into a Barbanel, the crazy house. Mental institution you put them. Somebody makes something for no reason? What's wrong with you? No one in the world, the creation of the Creator, knows enough that you cannot do something for no reason. There's no such thing. Everything you do must have a reason. So of course the Creator knows it. So Hashem says, every one of my creation is part of the ultimate purpose. You're never allowed to disrespect anything. Just because you don't know why such and such happened is your deficiency, not the creation's. Not to disrespect it. This goes and continues the issue that we talked about yesterday briefly, to give another last chidush to finish this whole situation with Art Scroll being insulted. One last thing I want to mention on that point. Yesterday we gave a nice chidush about the issue, but in the preservative, right, exactly. Art Scroll is a preservative. So for anyone who hasn't listened so far, the key is that there are unfortunately many people that go to yeshivot and they don't learn about yirat shamayim. They learn about insulting people instead. So they make fun of people that learn from Art Scroll, the publisher, because Art Scroll provides you commentary and it makes it a little easier to read the Gemara and understand it. But not understand all the secrets, and everyone that learns Art Scrolls are going to become a Kabbalist. Understand basic level. So people are saying, no, you should learn the tougher way and do this and do that. So, as I always told you guys, the Hashem is so perfect that He provides the cure before you ever knew that you could even be sick. Now, 11 years ago, my Rav, Rabbi Ephraim, wrote an answer about this specific thing and published it in all the yeshivot in Eretz Yisrael. 11 years ago, he was 17 years old. All the yeshivot accepted this answer, not one rabbi went against him. Send it to yeshivot, didn't send it to a few friends. Send the answer to all the yeshivot, giant yeshivot, Rabbi Ovadia, everyone. They accepted this answer. No one said one thing about it. He wrote this answer and he published it later on when he published one of his many books. Ech Tov LiYisrael. Ech Tov LiYisrael. How good is it? Israel. It's a pasuk in the Torah. And here, I think you have Chelek 1, Chelek Aleph. I give it to, okay, so this is good to read. So in Perek Aleph, he has about 11 dapim about this specific issue. It says, Lefum Chupa Shibashta. He calls this Siman Yud Aleph in Ech Tov Yisrael, and he goes into details. I'm not going to go into all the details. He says the people that spend too much time going and trying to do pilpulim, which is like looking into the details of the details of the details of the details, not to know what the halacha is, not to know what the secret is, but for the purpose of mental stimulation, which is good. It's not necessarily a bad thing. But he says here that the major chachamim have said that to some extent, if they're not corrected, these people, then they end up doing so much digging that they end up learning nothing. And whatever they learn is wrong anyway. One of them happens to be in this specific situation when these people go and they actually start making fun of anyone that's learning in a different shita. He says, Shmuah Shamati, I heard. That's what people say, I heard. They don't say, oh yeah, for sure there's Hashem in the world. Say, I heard, a distant hearing, that there are some people that dare not only say that their way is the only way, the best way, but they make fun of any other way of learning. This is in essence the same exact thing of what's happening with people from yeshivot that say anyone that's learning in a different way is wrong, art scroll or any other way. He says, I heard such a thing. He says a bunch of things about it. And I'll read you a few things. וכבר אמור שומר פיו ולשונו שומר מצרות נפשו. He goes, first and foremost, these people need to understand that someone that speaks such things, they create a lot of anguish in shamayim, and that anguish in shamayim eventually leads to suffering here. For who? For them. Because they're not keeping their mouth. Someone that keeps their mouth clean, keeps their body away from tzarot, away from suffering. And he gives you all types of verses. He says, ultimately, the biggest thing of what's happening here is that these people are poslim. They're canceling people out. But it already says in the Gemara, a posel be'acherim b'mumo posel. He himself becomes pasul. He himself becomes not kosher by going making fun of other people. Why such a big thing? He goes, because these other ways of studying is good for them. It's still Torah. They're still getting to the basic understanding. They're still getting to know what's going on. They're still learning Torah for Torah. They're not learning Torah for any other reason. Least Torah. So what you're doing is that you're discouraging somebody from learning Torah. You are causing not only chilul Hashem, but you're causing bitul Torah. Bitul Torah. In the Gemara it says someone is bitul Torah, it brings death penalty to the world. Not just for him, for people. Creates war in a nation. And he says a lot of other things, but one of the best things that I found out from Rabbi Reuven is that the answer to all of this doesn't even need to be in my book. It's actually in the Gemara. It's in the Gemara. Gemara Masechet Shabbat, page 63. Page 63a answers anyone that goes against a different shita of learning. Some people say, listen, you should learn the Gemara the way it's written and not learn it in Art Scroll, because Art Scroll gives you a English translation. You should learn the Gemara in its language, which is a combination of Hebrew and Aramaic. This couldn't be further from the truth. Why? Because the only thing that you're supposed to learn in its language, if it's possible, is the written Torah. Why? Because the written Torah has secrets within the language itself, which we'll learn shortly. The actual Gemara itself is, for the purpose of the Gemara, is to learn what it means. Not the letters, not how it's written. Bottom line, pshat. What is Hashem saying here? What are the Chachamim saying here? What is the Halacha? What's happening here? Not why is it written with this letter, why is it written with that letter, why is this sentence? No. This has nothing to do with the oral Torah. Nothing to do with it. That's the written Torah you're talking about. The Gemara, you learn it in a language you understand, which, by the way, is the reason why somebody like myself, it's very sad to say, sometimes I have people that come to me, they've been learning in yeshiva for 25 years, they come for one shiur, they say, listen, how do you know all of it? You've only been studying for a few years. I learned yeshiva 25 years, I don't know 5%. I said, it has nothing to do with me, it's all Hashem. He goes, yeah, but still, the Gemara that you read, I read it 100 times, I didn't understand anything. I said, what language you read it in? He said, I learned it in whatever it says. I said, do you understand Aramaic? Do you understand Hebrew? He goes, yeah, I have this, I have that. I'm like, yeah, but do you understand like you understand English? He goes, oh, I understand. I'm like, let me ask you a question. When you dream, you go to sleep. What language do you dream in? What language do you dream in? That's how you know, by the way, what's your first language. What language do you dream in? Every time, not just once in a blue moon. Every time, what language do you dream in? When you talk to somebody, you're talking to the fish, you're talking to the zoo animal of some other kind, whatever, some ghost you're talking to, whoever you're talking to in your crazy dream. What language are you speaking? He says, I speak English. I said, so you have to read in English, my friend. Yes, it's good to learn the other languages, but not if you don't understand it. If you understand the Aramaic, just like you understand English, shrecha, do it. But if you don't understand, if you read a whole daf Gemara, you're on the whole Masechet, you don't understand what's going on, you waste your time. Give me a source. Here's a source. Gemara Masechet Shabbat. Gemara Masechet Shabbat, page 63, says Rav Kahana, Amar Rav Kahana, Rav Kahana said, when I was 18 years old, 8 years of age, I learned the entire Talmud. He learned the entire Gemara already by the time he was 18 years old, which means much more than us learning Gemara at any age, because for them to learn entire Gemara means he already knew it completely. And he says, but I never knew that a verse ever departs from the pshat, from the plain meaning. Until now, until I learned it from Rabbi Elazar. Now that I learn it, but until now, I never knew that there was something beyond the pshat. I never knew. I thought that whatever it says, that's what you learn. There's no like secrets. There's no exegesis and figuring things out. There's secrets, chidushim. He says, I learned the basics. What's the chidush here? So what is Rav? Why is this written in the Gemara that he didn't know this for so many years, for 2 years, for 10 years, for 20 years? What's the big deal? Why is this written in the Gemara? This is written in the Gemara for a reason. The Gemara says, why is this written in the Gemara? What lesson are we learning from here? We're learning from Rav Kahana. He's trying to teach us that first, a person must learn the basic pshat for what it means. Then after he knows these and he's comfortable with the entire pshat, only then can he even consider reasoning and pilpulim and digging in and going for this and going for that and going for the secret and trying to figure. No. First understand the entire Gemara as it is. Basic, which means you have to understand what it says, my man. You have to understand what it says. You learning the same Daf Gemara for 3.5 years, thinking you're Kodesh Kodeshim, you're just an idiot. Why? Because you learn one page for 3 years. There's still 2,665 more pages. So this is a Gemara. The most important thing is to learn the Pshat. Art Scroll gives you the Pshat. First, finish the Shas. Finish the entire Gemara, basic. Once, twice, Hashem more. After you're comfortable with it, then you can start learning it in different languages, original language, this language, that language, whatever. But first learn what it says. You can't tell me I've been learning for 25 years and I still don't know the difference between white and blue. So all these people that go against Art Scroll, they're going against the Torah. They're going against the Chachamim. Why? Because this is just to learn the basic pshat. And if you have a wrong translation of the pshat, of the basic meaning, everything else you're going to build on top of it, as we said yesterday, is rotten, it's good, it's wrong. Because if the foundation is rotten, eventually the building you build on top of it will collapse. So here, what's the result? What's the outcome? What does Rabbi Reuven say about such people? Where does it all stem from? He says this all stems from the people that are making fun of anybody learning Torah. Where does it stem from? It stems from two things. One, gava, pride. They think they're better than everybody else. Apparently they haven't read this Mishnah in Pirkei Avot that says you can't judge people in such a way and make fun of them regardless of their Talmid Chacham, Talmid Katan, Goy. Doesn't matter. You're not allowed to make fun of people. Two, no yirat shamayim. The yirat shamayim they missed. And he says, why? So how come they don't know this Gemara? They learn Gemara, they pridefulness, they go to yeshiva 25 years, this, that. Why? He says in the book, he says because they're so busy making fun of other people and so busy focusing on the one page for the entire 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, they only learn 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages, 3 months, that they never actually got to the 63rd page of Masechet Shabbat. They never read the actual Gemara because they're still busy on the first page. So from your pilpulim, you end up doing bilbulim. From the pilpul, you ended up confused.
Like the guy from Arizona, the guy always hates you for no reason.
The guy hates me for no reason. Sinat chinam, misken.
No, right, we just said
Misken. There's a lot of miskenim.
He
People
actually
just
knows
destroy their
everything,
world.
But he doesn't know even a simple
So
thing.
that's the thing. The problem is that people are mamash putting their olam haba at risk every day for no reason. No reason. Just learn. Do what you got to do. You don't agree with somebody else. You don't agree with somebody else. You don't have to agree with everybody in the world. But to start making fun of people in public, why? Why? Why making fun of people in public? Put their names out there, destroy them, destroy personalities, defame them, embarrass them. Why? For what? For what? What are you gaining out of it? Matov. What benefit do you get out of it? What, everybody tells you, ha ha ha, with you? Don't you know there's a rule in the Torah, Malbin pnei chavero berabim, en lo chelek le'olam haba? So the Gemara asks, why is it that someone that embarrasses another person in public has no share of the world to come? So the Gemara answers, says because he committed murder. What does malbin pnei chavero means? He makes his face white. Why? From embarrassment, all the blood rushed out of his face, and if he didn't have cheeks, all of the blood would split into he would die. All the blood from his entire body would come out of his face. So you have to thank God Hashem gave him cheeks. You just committed murder, 100%. He says, yeah, okay, fine, it's no problem. But Rav Nissim again, Zechet Tzadik Livracha, says, okay, fine, no problem. But what happens here is that for murder, somebody murdered, it's punishment, death penalty, but he still has share of the world to come. You're saying that someone that's a malbin pnei chavero, that embarrasses another person in public, has no share of the world to come, but it's like murder. So how is it that murder itself still has olam haba, and like murder has no olam haba? It's a worse punishment. So Or HaChaim HaKadosh says, the one that murdered, the next day, he realizes he just killed somebody. He realizes it's not good. He has a conscience. He's still human. He's not a tiger or a lion. If he's a normal person, he's not completely crazy. There's some part of it that feels bad. If he gets caught, even more. Gets punished, goes to jail, something happens. If he kills somebody in this country, he goes to jail for 5-10 years. If he steals $1 million, 30 years minimum. Stupidest country in the world, but that's the law. He steals money, he goes to jail pretty much for the rest of his life. He kills 5-6 people, goes to jail for 10 years. If he's got a good lawyer, 5 years.
But in Florida, they'll execute you, and in Texas, they'll let you jail.
There's only a couple of states in the country that have a little bit of common sense. So anyway, but the Torah asks here, why is it the guy that murdered has olam haba, punished but has olam haba? The guy that did something like a murder, embarrassed somebody in public, no olam haba. It's like a murder, should be less. If anything, should be less. So Or HaChaim HaKadosh says, the guy that murdered, he feels bad a little bit. He suffers a little bit because he knows at the end of the day he murdered somebody. The guy that did Lashon Hara, went against a rabbi in public, went against a regular person in public, started embarrassing his waiter in public, embarrassed his wife in front of the kids, embarrassed the student, whatever he did. He does not only doesn't feel bad, he feels he's right. He did a mitzvah. He did a mitzvah like this tembel that made the recording against me recently. What happens? What does he do? I'm comfortable saying it simply because I know no one's going to ever find him.
He's doing it for Am Yisrael, he said.
What is he doing? He's doing it for Am Yisrael to fight the sheker, to fight the lies. So he publicizes my name and tells everybody I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm this, and I'm that, and I never did this, I never did that. Mamash murders me in public. What happened? What happened? What you doing? What are you doing? He feels he's right. He feels he's not only right, he's doing chesed. He's doing mitzvah. He's doing something good. That's why Hashem Yitbarach says, such a person, if he doesn't do tshuva, Bezrat Hashem does tshuva, such a person, en lo chelek l'olam haba. Why? Because he's never going to suffer for it. He's never going to say, I'm sorry for it. Even in Elul, 40 days of tshuva, Yom Kippur, Chatanu, Avinu, Pashanu. Nothing. He's never going to be 40 years, 50 years, 70 years on earth. Every year say I'm sorry, say I'm sorry. What is it? What am I saying I'm sorry for? For what? What should I be sorry for? I did a mitzvah, I did kiddush Hashem. I embarrassed Yaron Reuven in public. Now he knows better. I embarrassed ArchCall in public. I embarrassed all the Chachamim, Rav David Feinstein, Rav Kanievsky, Rav Steinemann. I went against all of them. I was Moshe Rabbeinu of the generation. I did kiddush Hashem. He's never get. Not only he doesn't feel bad, he's proud of what he did. He's proud of what he did. Ben Azai Omer, Al tivaz likol adam. Don't be mean to people. It starts with small sin. It starts by being mean to the guy that just showed up to the yeshiva for the first time. It starts by being mean to the average guy. Jew, non-Jew, rich, poor, male, female. Don't be mean. Don't be mean. It's the basic level. He's not talking about chassidut, you have to be this, you have to be that. He goes, basic human being. Don't be mean to anyone. You have no toilet. There's nothing resourceful or productive out of it. It's only going to bring you bad. It's only going to bring you suffering. It's only going to put your olam haba in jeopardy. Why? And never be such a person that makes fun of other things and get to a point where eventually you think you're running the show. Why? Because everyone else will get their time to shine. Everyone else will get their time to shine. Just like this Duka got his time to shine, just like Nebuchadnezzar used to be scribe, worked for the king. Worked for the king in the time of Chizkiyahu. Chizkiyahu HaMelech had health come to him. He was supposed to die. Hashem gave him a special test. He was going to kill him. Because even though he was holy of holies, he made a mistake and used his judgment to say that he knew from prophecy that his son was Menashe. And Menashe was going to be a Rasha. He says it's better off not to bring this son to the world. It's going to go against Hashem, put an idol in Bet Mikdash. It's better off not to get married. It's better off to never bring this child to the world. Hashem sent the prophet Isaiah to him and says, tomorrow you're going to die. Tomorrow Hashem is going to kill you. No, why? The entire nation, even the little boys, 5, 6 years old, they know the entire Mishnah by heart. They know the entire Mishnah by heart. The little boys, 5, 6 years old. Today, Gdol Adol knows it. Little boys, they're just learning Aleph Bet. In the generation of Chizkiyahu, little boys knew the entire oral Torah by heart. They say when they buried him, Gemara Masechet Moed Katan, page 25, says when Chizkiyahu HaMelech died, they buried him next to, in the same coffin. Same thing, Sefer Torah. Sefer Torah. Why? It says, this is Kodesh, this is Kodesh. Same thing. The Sefer Torah, Chizkiyahu, same thing. Sefer Torah, Chizkiyahu, same thing. To such an extent, the Gemara says that Hashem was thinking of bringing the Mashiach in a generation, and he said to himself, if the Mashiach would come, Chizkiyahu would be Mashiach. So the same Chizkiyahu, the same Kodesh Kodashim made a mistake, used his logic. Hashem was going to punish him. But then he did teshuva, he married the prophet Isaiah's daughter, Hashem made him healthy, right away. Made him healthy. Refuah shlema. So the Goy king found out about it. Goy king found out health, found out that Hashem stopped the sun for him. Great miracles are happening for Am Yisrael. So he sent him a letter. He says to his scribe, Nebuchadnezzar, write a letter. To Chizkiyahu, Shalom. To the people of Yerushalayim, Shalom. And to your God, Shalom. So the scribe, Nebuchadnezzar, writes it. Give him a job. Your job is to write. He writes it. He puts it in an envelope. He gives it to the messenger. The messenger starts walking out. Nebuchadnezzar goes to his king and he says, Your Highness, what you just wrote to this Jew, you believe it? He goes, what do you mean? He goes, you believe in their God? Goes, of course I believe in their God. Of course I believe. There was no kofrim like today. Even the goyim believed in God back then. Goes, of course I believe in the God. Look at the miracles. You have to be blind not to believe in God. Blind, crazy, stupid, all combined into one, like shakshuka. What do you mean you don't believe in God? He goes, so why did your Highness write the honors to the king of flesh and blood first, to the people of flesh and blood second, and to the King of Kings, the Almighty, last? Shouldn't it be the opposite? The king said, you're right. Go get the messenger. He runs. Nebuchadnezzar, the little messenger, runs after the messenger, the mailman. The messenger is 3 steps outside of the castle. 3 steps outside of the castle. Nebuchadnezzar catches him, give me the letter, and he takes 3 steps back, he's back in the castle. And for that, the Gemara says, For that honor that Nebuchadnezzar gave Hashem Yitbarach, Hashem made him king of the world. Hashem made Nebuchadnezzar king of the world. No king. He told him, and Prophet Daniel told to Nebuchadnezzar, no king will be as strong as you until Mashiach. No one will run the world like you did until Mashiach. For what? To give him an amana on a piece of paper? And until this day, Am Yisrael every day tries to undo it. How do we try to undo it? All the honor and things that Hashem gave to Nebuchadnezzar, how do we try to undo it? Every day in Amidah, what do? You take 3 steps back. Why do you take 3 steps back? Because he took 3 steps forward to give Hashem Kiddush Hashem. We're trying to undo it. Why? Because this Rasha that took 3 steps to sanctify Hashem's name, he also destroyed Beit HaMikdash. So we're trying to undo it, so we take 3 steps back. Don't give him any respect. Don't give him nothing. Give us back Beit HaMikdash. So every day you do Amidah, you don't even know why. 20, 30, 40, 50 years, people do Amidah. They have no idea why they're taking 3 steps. They think we're like monkeys. We have a little system. No, everything in Judaism is something.
Is that the secret?
That's the secret.
That's amazing.
That's the secret. Midrash Ma'am Lo is. So here we see everything in Judaism has a reason. If you don't know it, it's not because there's no reason. It's because you don't know it. Go.
Nebuchadnezzar, the prophet Jeremiah, he told him way before he became king that he wanted to destroy the Beit HaMikdash.
Okay.
He wanted the prophet just kill him right there. If the prophet saw that, he will do it one day.
Because it's not, first of all, it didn't happen yet. The prophet told them, they were friends. Jeremiah and Nebuchadnezzar were friends as little kids. They were friends. And they were talking, and Nebuchadnezzar says, I want to be king one day, and king, I'm going to destroy the Beit HaMikdash. So Jeremiah saw in prophecy that it was his shah, it was his time. It was his time. What he says was going to come true. Just listen. He knows he can't do anything about it. He can't change anything. There's no certainty that he can kill him either. And you can't punish somebody before he made a sin either. That's why they said, why did Hashem just kill Esav before he killed somebody else? Why didn't Hashem kill Amalek before he killed somebody else? Why didn't Hashem? Because you can't punish anyone until the crime. You can't punish them in advance. Even if you know it's going to happen. You can't punish them in advance. You can't start yelling at your wife before she spent all your money. You can't. Yeah, tell her, honey, please don't go. If she spent all your money, then you could talk to her, but you can't go crazy on her before she spent the money. You can't yell at the rabbi for making a mistake. He didn't start talking yet. Understand? So Jeremiah said, listen, if you're going to be king, at least leave me the Beit HaMikdash. Don't touch the Beit HaMikdash. No, I'm going to do it. Leave me this. He tried negotiating with him now. And Nebuchadnezzar didn't know he actually sees this is going to come true. But Nebuchadnezzar had his shah. It was his time.
Why did he want to destroy it so badly? Because it was the Jews, or?
Yeah, I mean, he wanted to go. He wanted to run the world. He wanted to run the world.
For God,
He even went against God, though.
afterwards, yeah.
He went against God. He went against God.
How do we know when it's our Shah Tova?
How do we know Shah Tova? It's a good question. So, okay. So, your Shah, you're going to know because everything can literally change in a second. Things can change in a second. Somebody can be a loser for a very, very long time. All of a sudden, Hashem opens his brain and he becomes something. There's a story, a famous story about a guy that was a gabbai for 20 years. Gabbai, one of the guys running the shul for 20 years. And after a while, they saved some money. They started getting some new congregates to the Keilah that had some money, rich people. They built, they expanded the Beit Knesset. And, they came to this gabbai and they said, listen, the Yamim Tovim are coming. Yamim Noah, the Yom Kippur is coming, Rosh Hashanah is coming. The big guys, the rich guys are coming to the Beit Knesset. So this year you have to be prepared that already now you want you to write down the name of all these rich people. So when they come, you give them a card so you can put it so everybody knows who they are. You give them respect, you give them this, you give them that. You go, 20 years of running the place, I never had to do this. He goes, yeah, but now we're famous, fancy, this, that. People are going to come. You have to write. He goes, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Why can't you do it? I don't know how to read and write. I don't know how to read and write. Misken doesn't know how to read and write. So they said, listen, you don't know how to read and write. You're fired. 20 years I work here, that's what I do, you're just going to fire me like that? Hey, we need somebody that's going to give kavod to the big people. Why? That's how we make our money. Miskin, what is he going to do? He goes home. His wife says, listen, you still need to make parnasah. They fired, no fire, you need to make parnasah. He goes, I don't have anything else to do. He goes, listen, you have some tools in the garage. Take the tools. Go sell the tools. Okay, takes the tools, puts them in a thing, goes to the market. No tools, I got a plier, I got a fork, I got a this, I got a hammer. What are you going to do? He starts selling the tools, and some old lady says to him, oh, you sell tools? Listen, I have some tools in my house. Do you want to sell them? He says, I'll give you commission. The guy says, listen, what else am I going to do? I can't be gabbai, I can't be architect, can't be doctor, can't be lawyer. What am I going to do is offer me something. Sure, why not? He goes to the old lady's house, he takes her tools, he starts selling the tools. Little by little, one thing leads to another. It's his shah, it's his time. Things start booming. The guy starts making big money. Starts a company. Starts a big business. A few years pass. All of a sudden, this guy's a multi-millionaire. One day, there's a big deal that he has with China. And the guy from China, the messenger from China, is about to deliver the goods. He's delivering the goods. He says, okay, sir, $10 million worth of products we're delivering to you. He's going to make millions off of this. We're delivering to you, sir. Just sign over here. Sign over here, sir. He goes, I'm sorry, I don't sign. This is what I do. He takes his finger, puts it in ink, and he puts it on a thing, like a fingerprint. He goes, no, 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 sir. In China, we do business like Americans. We signature. We need name. He goes, no, 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 no. I don't sign. This is how I sign. He goes, why? He goes, I don't know how to sign. He goes, what do you mean you don't know how to sign? He goes, I don't know how to read and write. He goes, look at you. You built a company, you just did a $10 million deal, and you don't even know how to read and write. Imagine how much you can do if you knew how to read and write. He says, actually, if I knew how to read and write, I'd still be a gabbai. I'd still be a gabbai making $300 a week. You understand? Yeshuat Hashem Kerefayim. So now, here we have a situation where a person knows that you're not allowed to disrespect people. Everybody's going to have a time to shine. Everybody's going to have a time to shine, and you're going to have to take the opportunity. But at the same token, it all depends on what you do at that time. So then last but not least, it says, There's no such thing, doesn't have a place in the world. See here, there's a few. There's the pshat, which is everything has its place in the world, which we already learned, whether it's a bug, or it's a plier, or it's a person, or it's black, or it's white, or it's this, or it's everything has its place in the world. If it's Hashem's creation, it has a place in the world. But there's another thing that we learn, is that makom is also another name for God. The omnipresent Hashem. Makom means place, and Hashem is everywhere. So He's the omnipresent, He's everywhere. So in the Torah, there are many places where they refer to Hashem as makom. So it says here, the Chazal is explaining, is here, Ben Azai is saying there's no such thing that doesn't have a God. There's no such creation that doesn't have a God. Whether you admit it or not is irrelevant. Everything and anything has a God. So what does this mean? Everything and anything has a God. What does it mean to have a God? Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was alive at the time where they were destroying the Beit HaMikdash. And we said this in the Tisha B'Av. It's a story in the Gemara. It says that the Vespasian was Andrianus, I think it's in Hebrew, was the general for the Roman Empire. He was outside of the gate of Rome for 3 years. 3 years. They won't let him into Yerushalayim. The Biryonim, which were the Zionists of their day, the bullies, the Zionists of their day, were not letting anyone in, were not letting anyone out. And Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai knew that their system was not going to work. Not going to work. And reality is that eventually everyone's going to starve to death. So he wanted to try to negotiate with the Roman Empire. So he knew that they're not going to let him out. So he made his students make a funeral for him, pretend like he was dead. They put his body in the coffin, and eventually he snuck his way out. There's even a story about that, where the biryonim was such reshaim that they actually wanted to stab the body just to confirm he was dead. And the Talmidim of Rabbi Yochanan was saying, come on, you're going to dishonor. Even the Goyim don't do this to bodies. You're going to dishonor a righteous Jew. The Gdol Adol just died. You're going to stab his body? You're going to disrespect the body like that? What's the matter with you? So he said, okay, fine. They let it out. Anyway, he gets to Vespasian and he gets to Andrianus. And he says, hello, king, your highness. Hello, king. So Vespasian says, you deserve 2 death penalties. Mot yumat. Like it says, Mechalel Shabbat. Mechalel Shabbat, mot yumat. You deserve not 1 death penalty, 2 death penalties. Because first one, I'm not the king. So you just address me as a king. I'm a general. That means you disrespected my king. Death penalty. He says, no, you're the king. You're the king. He goes, I'm not the king. They're arguing, you're the king. I'm not the king. Why do you think I'm the king? He says, because it says in the Torah that only a king can take down Yerushalayim. They're not going to give it to some common person, to some general, even if he's fancy schmancy, even this. They're not going to give Yerushalayim to just anyone. Only a king that Hashem decides can take down Yerushalayim. Only a king. So you are a king. I'm not a king. Yes, a king. I'm not a king. Yes, a king. They argue. Surely, while they're arguing, messenger comes with the horses, comes in, Your Highness, the king just committed suicide, and the government decided you are the king. You're the new king. On the spot, he has the zchut to see Rabbi Yochanan, mamash, like prophecy. You're okay, you still deserve death penalty. Second reason, deserve death penalty. What's that? I'm impressed. Okay, you know I was a king. Great, sure. I got to leave now. I got to go back to my country. King, you still deserve death penalty. Why deserve death penalty? Because I've been here for 3 years. 3 years I'm here. 3 years I'm here around. If you knew I was king, where were you until now? Where were you until now? You come to me 3 years, you make the king wait outside the gate? If I'm the king, where were you until now? Hashem Yitbarach gives us Elul. He gives us Elul because Judgment Day is in 40 days. Rosh Hashanah. It gives you an opportunity to do tshuva because the trial, there's no more tshuva in the trial. Whatever the case is, He gives you second chance to appeal on Yom Kippur, but there's no better time to have a good judgment than the original judgment. Now we don't want to be in a situation where we show up completely unprepared because we overslept every single day. We didn't do slichot. We didn't even say slicha bichlal. We still have gava. We still go against Hashem every day. We're still mechalei Shabbat. We still eat non-kosher. We're still looking at all the girls. We still haven't done tshuva. One of the questions is, what's the foundation of tshuva? Foundation of tshuva, develop yirat shamayim. That's foundation of tshuva. Why? Simple answer. Once you are developing yirat shamayim, everything else comes. You're not going to go against Hashem if you have yirat shamayim. You're not going to violate Shabbat if you have yirat shamayim. You're not going to eat non-kosher if you have yirat shamayim. You're not going to go play football instead of learn Torah if you have yirat shamayim. You're not going to do things against God on a regular basis if you are afraid of judgment. If you're afraid of Hashem Yitbarach. Foundation of tshuva, simple. Yirat shamayim. Develop yirat shamayim by learning MUSSAR. Everything else goes better from there. Why? Because from now on, once you have yirat shamayim, you ask yourself, what does God think about this? That's yirat shamayim. Not do and then ask. Not like some people, they say, Rabbi, can I eat this? And what do they send me? They send me a picture of a wrapper of eating food already. They already ate it. They asked me, is this kosher? You should have called me before you ate it, not after. Rabbi, What's the halacha of if I'm about to marry a woman and she really, really is great, she loves Hashem, but she's not Jewish and we're about to get married. What's the halacha with that? No, you're supposed to call me before you even met her, before you ever decided to go get engaged, not after you're at the wedding, you're going down the aisle, you're calling me. You're at the aisle like, hey, Rabbi, is this okay? Because the rabbi, even though it's a woman, they call themselves a rabbi, has talit on, and the dog is next to them under the chuppah, they said it's okay. I'm like, yeah, he's reformed. He's Amalek. Of course he's going to say it's okay. So, what's yirat shamayim? Yirat shamayim is asking Hashem, what do you think? What is your opinion? Not what's Yaron's opinion. Not what's this. What is your opinion? How do you know his opinion? You open Torah. You have Torah. It tells you what's Hashem's opinion. It tells you his opinion about homosexuality. It tells you his opinion about Shabbat. It tells you his opinion about niuf, going with women that you're not supposed to. It tells you about his opinion about jealousy. It tells you his opinion about business, how to conduct business. It tells you his opinion about everything. Everything. Once you start asking Hashem, what is your opinion? You have started officially teshuva. Why? Because you're going to stop sinning. You're going to stop sinning. You can't say, I have fear of Hashem, but I'm planning a barbecue on Shabbat right after Yom Kippur. You should know. There's a Mishnah. Says, האומר הכתב והשוב, הכתב והשוב, אין מספיקים בידו. It says, someone that says, I'm going to sin and then do teshuva, I'm going to sin then do teshuva. They don't let him do teshuva, and on top of it, Yom Kippur doesn't help him. The Mishnah continues, Yom Kippur doesn't help him. He can say Chatanu, Avinu, Pashanu, he can cry, he can fast for 10 days, not for 1 day, for 10 days he can fast. 10 days if he can fast. If he is not planning on fixing himself, if he already has a barbecue planned for next Shabbat, if he already is going to continue his behavior, Yom Kippur is not going to help him. In fact, he may actually get punished for the chutzpah of lying to Hashem in his face. Like he's saying chatanu, like it happened in the past. You should say, ani choteh, I'm still sinning now. In the Bekneset, ve'alachti mi bekeri. You treat me with casualness like nothing. So a person needs to understand, teshuva, yirat shamayim. That's teshuva. Teshuva is start asking yourself, what does Hashem think about this? Does Hashem care about me driving on Shabbat or no? Does Hashem care about me eating at a place not kosher or no? Does Hashem care about me being with a woman I'm not allowed to be with or no? Does Hashem care about me being angry or no? What does Hashem think? If you don't know, look. You don't know, ask. But ask somebody that has yirat shamayim. Don't ask the other guy who also doesn't have yirat shamayim. I have one guy who tells me, oh yeah, I'm listening, I'm learning, I have a chavruta. It's great. The guy is religious from birth. And I'm learning with him, and great, I just don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? Everything was great until now. You tell me everything is good. You're learning Torah. You did teshuva. Everything's fantastic. He goes, yeah. I'm just not sure if I should stay doing this, or I should just go back and start working. I said, why would you think about working if you're already learning Torah and everything is fine? He said, oh, no, because the guy I'm learning from, who knows all this Torah, he says he's going to leave in a few months. He's going to go to work. The guy I'm learning from, he wants to go to work. I said, so you can't learn from a guy like this. You got to learn from a guy that wants to learn Torah, not work. You understand? You can't learn about shlom bayit from somebody that got divorced 3 times. It's silly, but you're allowed to make fun of some people that are just jokesters. Like, for example, people love Tony Robbins. Seems like a very nice guy. But I think it's wrong for Tony Robbins to ever teach anyone about shlom bayit.
Why?
He got divorced 3 times.
What?
Or 2 times. He's on his 3rd marriage now.
He says he's like, has it all.
Has it all. Of course has it all. He has a lot of money. But as far as shlom bayit, he doesn't have shlom bayit. You can't tell me you have shlom bayit. You got married. This is the 3rd marriage you have.
That's crazy.
You can't come out with CDs and DVDs about shlom bayit. Buddy, start at home. You can't learn about the ahava of the Torah, loving the Torah, from somebody who doesn't want to learn bichlal. You can't do what Hashem wants you to do if you're learning from someone that goes against what Hashem wants you to do. You understand? So here, Hashem Yitbarach is giving us countless secrets. He says everything has a God. Everything has its place. Everything. And don't ever disrespect anything, because this stuff, the more you learn it, the more you're going to find out beautiful things. Now, I promised you a chidush, and to show you how even the smallest, most minute things that people don't pay attention to have the secrets to save all of you, myself included. Here you have the first 6 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. First 6 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Okay? Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav. Okay? Now, here you have a secret of what's going to save you at the end of days. Not just what's going to be good for you, not just to learn the first 6 letters of the alphabet. That's already good. You already know 6 letters in the Hebrew alphabet. Ashrecha. You should know that every one of the letters of the Hebrew alphabet, the Sfat HaKodesh, is a name of God. Hashem created the world with the Hebrew alphabet. Not with English, not with Spanish, not with the Chinese, not with the Mayan language. No, Hebrew language. In Gemara it says that he gave Betzalel, he gave him special chokhmah. So Chazal asked, what's special chokhmah? What's special wisdom? He gave Betzalel the secret of how to create things from the holy language. Kivyachol, the same way that Hashem created the world, Betzalel was able to create things from the letters. The DNA of the world, Betzalel knew. Special wisdom. So here the first 6 letters, we're not even saying the whole alphabet. First 6 letters have the secret. First 6 letters. In the Gemara, Masechet Shabbat. Masechet Shabbat says the first 2 letters, Aleph Bet. Aleph Bet is Rashet Tevot. Each one starts a new word. The first one is Aleph. Second one is Bina. Aleph Bina means study Torah. Aleph Bina. Aleph stands for study. Bina means Torah. Study the wisdom. Wisdom, where is wisdom? Wisdom is Torah. That's Aleph Bina. It's first 2 letters. That's what it stands for. Okay? Second 2 letters. Second 2 letters, Gemara in Shabbat 104a, says, Gmol Dalim. Help the needy. Gmol Dalim. Why these 2 letters? He says, if you notice, the Gimel is made in a way where there's the leg of Gimel, or the hand of Gimel, is reaching out. And the Dalet, the way it's drawn, is that the line over here is slanted back. Why is it slanted back? To make it easy for the one that wants to give, to give. But it's still facing away. Why is it facing away? Because it's not modest to look at you. It's, it's embarrassing for somebody that takes tzedakah. It's embarrassing for them. It's embarrassing for them to take tzedakah. There's no honor in taking tzedakah. So he looks away. Why? Because he's trying to teach the one that's giving the best way to give tzedakah is anonymous. It's anonymous, but you still have to make it easy for people to give it to you. So don't have a gate surrounding your house with electrocution and still expect people to give you tzedakah. Make it easy for people to give you tzedakah. So on one end you have here the leg of Dalet, that means chesed, reaching back, making it easy, but he's facing away. The face is this way. And the Gimel, which means to give, is facing forward. That you're doing the chesed. The biggest part of chesed is to do something, to get yourself off your butt. To do something about it. So all these people, Baruch Hashem, that took upon themselves to give out the posters, the mitzvah was not to send me an email and say, okay, I'm going to deliver the posters. What's the mitzvah? The mitzvah is to get the posters. Once you get them, to take them out of the box as soon as possible and start giving it to people. Not just to take the box, put it in the Beknesset, and you're finished. No. Go. Take 5 here, give 5 here. 10 here, 10 here. Give it to people by hand. Don't just put the whole stack. put $1,000 investment we're making and put it in a box, think you did chesed. You didn't do nothing. It was better off I didn't give it to you. You have to do something. So here you have Gmilut Chasadim. Here, second two letters of the alphabet. Next two letters of the alphabet represent another name of God. This is the name of God. This is one of the names of God. Hashem Yitbarach. This is one of the names of God. Okay? So here, the Gemara says, here are three letters. You have different secrets. There's also secrets about the last letters of the alphabet. But what's the chidush? What's the chidush? So, in the Gemara, in Masechet Sanhedrin, this is Shabbat. Shabbat 104a. But if you learn Masechet Sanhedrin, page 98b. 98b. They ask the same question you asked. If Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai was scared to death of what's going to happen to him. He has two gates. One's Gan Eden, one's Genom. He doesn't know which one he's going to be in. He doesn't know for sure. He doesn't know. His kid doesn't know. Dog, giant of giants. He doesn't know. He doesn't know how to yirat shamayim. To know, think you know, is chutzpah. To be so sure you're going to Gan Eden is chutzpah. It means you have no yirat shamayim. So here in the Gemara, it says, the times of Mashiach are called Chavle Mashiach. Why Chavle Mashiach? It's called birth pangs. Because the Gemara says that unfortunately, the most likelihood scenario, as it says in Gemara Masechet Yoma, is that the Roman Empire, meaning Esav, is going to rule the world, including Eretz Israel, for 9 months. For 9 months before the Mashiach comes. Apparently, the Gemara in Yoma says it's Esav. Some say it's Ishmael, but here in Yoma it says Esav. So we already know who Esav is. We're living among it. And anyone that watched the news recently sees that Esav is becoming a lot more vocal lately. What's happening in different parts of America, Nazis becoming much more vocal. The Nazis that have been here the whole time, all of a sudden, got a voice. They got a voice. They got hands. They got weapons. They got money. And they have one thing in common that the Nazis had 70 years ago. That they've also had for 800 years. And they also had for 2,000 years. And they also had for 4,000 years since their original grandfather, Esav. Esav had a grandson. Grandson, Amalek. Amalek is where the Nazis come from. Amalek is Edom. Esav is Edom. And they all have one thing in common. They hate Am Yisrael. Why they hate Am Yisrael? Because Am Yisrael stands for Torah. And Hashem Yitbarach says, Et Esav saneti. Esav, I hate him. Why I hate him? Because Esav knew the truth. He knew the truth, but he didn't want to do teshuva. Every day he says, yeah, tomorrow I'm going to go to Nets. And he didn't show up. Tomorrow I'm going to go to shiur Torah. And he didn't go. Tomorrow I'm going to leave my goy girlfriend. And he didn't go. Tomorrow I'm going to leave my goy boyfriend. And he didn't go. And he didn't stop. Tomorrow I'm going to do teshuva. Tomorrow I'm going to do teshuva. Tomorrow I'm going to do teshuva. Tomorrow. Lo and behold, he stays a goy the whole time. He goes against Hashem his whole life. But he knows the Torah. How do we know he knows Torah? His brother is Gdol Ador. Who, after his father, was the biggest Gdol Ador? Yitzchak Avinu. Yitzchak Avinu is his father. Of course you're going to know Torah. And he knew Torah because the Midrash says that he would pretend to be righteous. How do you pretend to be righteous? You bring his father the salt. He says, Abba, do we have to put maaser, give the tithe on the salt? We have to give tithe for the salt. Now we see the Esav of today, which is the Christians, even though some of them are decent people, there are many that are not. It's the same Esav. The religion of Christianity, Catholicism, is Esav. Why is it still Esav? Because they still keep only one mitzvah. The only mitzvah in the entire Torah that they keep is giving a tithe. Same thing like Esav pretended to keep 4,000 years ago. 4,000 years ago, he kept one mitzvah. He didn't want to keep Shabbat. He didn't want to keep kosher. He wanted to feed his father dogs. So today, 4,400 years later, they still keep one mitzvah. They don't keep Shabbat. They don't keep kosher. They don't keep tarat mishpacha. Nothing. What do they keep? You have to give money. But they pretend to be righteous. It's Esav Saneti, I hate him. Why? He knows the truth, still goes against it. That same Esav is becoming much more vocal. Hashem opened his throat, now he's becoming vocal. He says, we're not going to let the Jews spread the truth. We're not going to let the Jews do this. We're not going to let the Jews do that. Why? Because Hashem pressed the on button. Hashem says, time's out. It's time for me to bring MaShiach and for you to make a choice. Are you with me or against me? Are you with me or against me? Now they asked the Chachamim almost 2,000 years ago, do you want to be around during the times of Mashiach? Rabbah says, may he come, but may I not see him. May the Mashiach come, but I don't want to see him. They say, why you don't want to see him? Because I don't want to be around during the Chavle Mashiach, during the birth pangs. It's going to be difficult. Why? You're scared of flesh and blood. You're scared of bullets. You're scared of spears. No, they're not scared of spears. They're not scared of bullets. They're not scared of swords. They're not scared of nothing. What are they scared of? They're scared of the tests. They said in the generation of Mashiach, chutzpah tizgeh. Gemara Masechet Sotah, page 49, says there's going to be a lot of chutzpah. It's going to be people going against the Torah. How? Pnei ador ke pnei KIRUV. The generation's face is going to be like the generation of dogs. So one of the recent pirushim that I got on it from Rabbi Nissim again, Zechet Tzadik Kadosh Libracha, he says there's many pirushim for the face of a dog is the face of a generation. People are going to be rude. We know it. He says, no, there's another pirush. What's the pirush? He says it's going to be Erev Rav. Erev Rav is sometimes going to have a beard. Sometimes going to have a hat. And it's going to fulfill the prophecy of face of a generation is face of a dog. How? He says when you see a dog who's going with his master, sometimes there's no leash. So the dog walks in front of him. Even if there is a leash, he walks in front of the master. And sometimes the master lets some dog with no leash, lets him run. Lets him run. So people say, hey, it's not good that you're letting him run, he's going to run away. No, he doesn't run away. Every so often he looks back to see where his master is. Because sometimes it happens, and what's going to happen at the end of the generation is that the rabbanim are going to be rabbanim. They're going to be bad rabbis. Why? They're going to be like the dog. They're going to run in front of the master, and they're going to look at him. Is this okay? Can I say this in the lecture? He says, okay, I'm going to give shiur Torah in the Knesset. Can I say this? Can I say mechalel Shabbat mot yumat? Oh, no, I can't. Okay, say that. Can I say that you're not allowed to be with a goya? Oh, no, I can't say it. Okay, I can't. Why? Every so often, the rabbi, the leader, he's leading. He's not leading. He's the dog. He looks back and he asks the owner, is this okay? Is this okay? Is this okay? He's a dog. He's not a rabbi. He's a rabbi. That's why there's so much confusion. There's so much confusion. People don't know what yirat shamayim is. You know what yirat shamayim? Yirat shamayim iyotzaro. Yirat Hashem iyotzaro. That's what Hashem has this world for. People don't know what yirat shamayim is. You have over 1 million Jews in Israel don't know yirat shema. They don't know Shema Yisrael. They don't know you're supposed to be afraid of God. This is foundation of Judaism. Busha v'chirpa. We have 40 days to do teshuva. We have 40 days to get a chance for everything we have. For our lives are on the line. And Hashem is making it obvious. Because we think, it's spiritually on the line. No, my friend. Flesh is on the line. The Nazis are here. Where? Next door. There may be your neighbor. They may be the community over. The next town over. It's everywhere. Don't think you're safe anywhere. Not in Israel, not in America, not in Europe, not anywhere. Why? Chavle Mashiach, my friends. And it's in the way to be saved is right here in these letters. It's right here in these letters. Hashem already, when He created the world, He created a solution. He created a solution. So the next rabbi says, Abaye asked Rabbi, why do you want to be alive at the time of Mashiach? The other rabbis don't want to be. The other rabbis don't want to be here when Mashiach comes, but you want to be. Why do you want to be here? He says, because we learn from Rabbi Elazar, the rabbi of Rabbi Akiva, the Baal Tshuva. The Baal Tshuva, Rabbi Akiva, his rabbi, Rabbi Elazar. Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkinos. Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkinos, we learn from him. What we learn from him? We learn chidush from him. His students asked him one time, Kvod Harav, what will save us from Gog uMagog? What will save us from Chavlei Mashiach? What will save us from the pain, the birth pangs? The birth pangs, the nightmare. What's going to save us? He says, make sure you look at these first two letters, second two letters, and last two letters. Why? Because the first two letters represent Torah. Asok b'Torah. Make Torah your business. Not just learn Torah passively, come to a shiur Torah once in a blue moon. Make Torah your business. Your business, when it means your business, means your life. People make your life, people make their business their life. Make Torah your life. Make Torah your instructions to life. Second, Gmilut Chasadim. Go help people do tshuva. Go help people come back to where? The last two letters. The last two letters, come back to Hashem. Come back to Hashem. Hashem, when He created the world, He created tshuva. He created an opportunity for you to come back to Him. He created an opportunity for you to say, I'm sorry. Now, why does He have slichot? Why does He have Rosh Hashanah? Why don't He just let you live? Do whatever you want. One day, you go up there to shamayim and He judges you accordingly. Hashem Baruch says, no. Originally I created this world with din. But then I realized you're not going to survive a week. You're not going to survive a week if it was only punishment. So I did it with chesed too. And the biggest chesed was what I did when I created to you Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Why? Because if you came up to shamayim without it, I'll tell you, listen, you did this, you did this, you did this, you did that. I show you a movie of your whole life. And you can't tell me, no, I didn't. There's no line in shamayim. What are you going to say? You're going to say, there, you're right, I did all those things. But I can't pay you. I don't have the money. I don't have the money to pay you. I don't have the mitzvot to pay you. I don't have the mitzvah to pay you. I don't have nothing. You should have come earlier. You should have come this. So I said, that's why I created Rosh Hashanah. It gives you an opportunity every year to pay the bill. Every year you do tshuva. Every year you come and you say, I'm sorry. You do it again. You fix it. You fix it. You fix it. You got shamayim level 1 this year. Next year level 2. Next year level 3. Next year level 4. Every year you keep going. Every year more mitzvot. Every year more things. Every year more people ba'alei tshuva. Every year you do something good. Every year you get closer to me. Why? Because if you don't, I put a story in the Gemara specifically for you. From the Roman Empire. Andrianus Vespasian said to Rabban Yochanan ben Sagai, if you knew I was the king, where were you until now? You said Hashem Yitbarach every year, every day. You said Hashem, Hashem, Hashem. They even make songs about Hashem. Hashem, we love you. Hashem, we love you. Hashem, we love you. Where were you until now? Why did you wait 70 years until I took you from this world to Shamayim to say I'm sorry? Where were you every year, Rosh Hashanah? Where were you? Where were you until now? If I was the king, if you said Baruch Ata Hashem, Melech HaOlam, you said, blessed you Hashem, king of the world. If I'm the king of the world, why don't you make me the king of you? If I'm the king of the world, what about you? What about you specifically? Forget the world. You, if I'm the king of the world, Baruch Ata Hashem, Melech HaOlam, king of the world. What about you? Are you part of the world? Because if everyone says, king of the world, but not me, then I'm king of nothing. What about you? So a person needs to understand. Here, he gave you an out. Gave you an opportunity. Learning Torah by itself, not enough. Not enough. You have to fulfill the Torah. And Rabbi Eliezer ben Holkenos is telling you, there's a secret. The Roman Empire, the Nazi Empire, the whatever empire will rise right before Mashiach comes, it's going to be balagan. It's going to be craziness, weapons, mass destruction, nightmare. You have one solution. One. You want to be saved? You have one option. You remember that Torah we learned for the last couple of hours? You make it your business. That's part one. You remember that story that I told you in the beginning of the shiur? That $95 to go help somebody do teshuva? You make that your business. You don't have money? Spend time. If you're already on the internet, spread shiurim Torah. If you have money, make sure that money is used for that. Because your house, getting an extended kitchen, getting an extended house, getting a bigger car, getting a fancier car, getting another fishing rod, getting another game, getting another vacation, all that stuff, it's not going to help you when Mashiach shows up any minute. It's not going to help you. You can't bring your fishing rod to Gog Magog. The bigger house you have, the more likely it is to be bombed by the planes, because they see it from shamayim. Having an extended house is not going to help you when Mashiach comes and he's destroying all the goyim that are trying to kill you. You have to go look for righteous people that are looking for the truth and start bringing them back to Hashem. Bring people back to Hashem. Make that your business. And Hashem already told you, you don't need to know the entire Hebrew language. You don't need to learn Gemara from the Aramaic and the Hebrew and this. You just need to know the basics of the first 6 letters. 6. That's it. First 2 letters, learn Torah. Second 2 letters, Gemilut Chasadim. Next 2 letters, 5th and 6th, God. The end. You do that, you have nothing to worry about. It doesn't matter whether you live inside Rome or you live on top of the Kotel Ma'aravi. You do those 2 things, you'll be fine. That story that I told you, Baruch Hashem, there's many, many like it. Sometimes people donated $95, sometimes they donated $1,000, sometimes they donated $1, literally. Some people didn't have money, they donated $1. That $1, we used it for 1 CD. If it saved somebody or not, I don't know. I don't track the $1. All I know is that it could have. If you're willing to buy a lotto ticket for $600 million with $2 for life in this world, you can buy Olam Haba. You could buy Olam Haba with the same thing. You understand? So, Be'ezrat Hashem, I think we were able to answer all of your questions with Siyata Dishmaya through this Mishnah and the letters and Chidushim. Anything else?
I have one more question.
Yeah.
It's a little weird though, because we just talked about Menashe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've read some of the stuff people were doing then. It said that women were doing horrible stuff. Men, terrible stuff they do in the Beit HaMikdash.
Ken.
And one guy did to his rabbi once. So like I'm saying,
Ken.
compared to what they knew and us, we're not so far worse than they were. They were also very evil if you look what they were doing, compared to what they knew.
Somebody came
God, they would see Shekhinah.
Somebody came to Rav Avadia one time. He said, Kvod Harav, we hear that one of your relatives, distant relatives, you listen to this. Forget the drink. Listen to this. We heard that one of your distant relatives is wearing a wig. And you speak highly against wigs, Kvod Harav. So, Rav Avadia was Ish Emet from beginning to end. Never left his Torah, never left the Emet. He said, yes, and there's a place in Gehenom for her too. So the sins of anyone else, whether it's this generation, the next generation, or previous generation, is not going to help you. What's going to help you? Torah, Gemilut Chasadim. That's what's going to help you. You don't need to worry about what anybody else is doing. Makom she'en ish tishtadel liot ish. In a place where there's no one that's going to stand up for the truth, you stand up for the truth. You be the ish emet. Not somebody, don't wait, oh no, once everybody else does teshuva, then I'll do it. Once my rabbi starts telling me the truth, then I'll listen. Once no, my friend. In Torah, 5 books of Moses, it says, in the end of days, Hashem Yitbarach tells us, I'm going to punish them, I'm going to send them to the 4 corners of the world, but there's a solution. What's the big but? If you look for me, you'll find me. If you look for me with all of your heart and all of your soul. So to say no because this rabbi is bad, or this guy is bad, and she is bad, and this is bad, that's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. It's you don't say that about business. Hey, listen, because the vast majority of the world doesn't make money, so I'm just not going to work. You don't do that with business. Why? What do? If you make over $300,000, you make $300,000 a year, you make more than 99.5% of the entire world. 99.5% of the entire population, 7.5 billion people, do not make $300,000. They make less than $300,000. That means you are in the top 0.5% of the planet. Now, so you're a minority. You're a minority. Is there anyone here that if I told you I have an opportunity for you to make $300,000 this year? Is there anyone here that would say, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to be part of a minority. I don't want to be a minority. I want to be popular. I want to be like everybody else. I want to be like everybody. I don't want to make $300,000 or more. I don't want to make $1 million. No, come on, Kvod Rav, you're killing me. No, chas v'shalom. I don't want to be part of the minority. I don't want a minority. Look what happened to the minorities in the past. I don't want to be. Anybody here and say, no, I don't want $1 million?
I want 300,000 every day.
You want 300,000 every second. Why? It doesn't matter. You don't matter. It doesn't matter that everybody else is not doing it. It doesn't matter that everybody else is not working to do it. No, it doesn't matter. Same thing with Hashem Yitbarach. Even more so with Hashem Yitbarach. The fact that a lot of people are not doing it, the fact that a lot of people are going against it, the fact that there's reform, there's conservative, there's messianic, there's Christianity, there's Catholicism, there's Islam, there's all of these other things that are going against the Torah. Number one, it's nothing new. Number two, it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. At the end, even Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai was scared, even though he was a tzaddik. At the very least, we should try to be tzaddik. Try. How? Hashem says, I have a secret. It's in the letters. Very secret. You don't need to know the whole Aleph Bet. You convert, you just started, you're Baal Tshuva, you spoke English your whole life, Spanish your whole life. You don't know the whole Aleph Bet. You don't need to know the whole Aleph Bet. You just need to know 6 letters. 6 letters, baby. 6 letters, Hamud. 6 letters, that's it. 6 letters. 6. Not the whole thing. 6 letters. You don't need to know Aramaic. You don't need to know Spanish. You don't need to know. 6 letters, Hamudi. Cutie, 6 letters. My little baby girl, she knows 6 letters. She's 2 years old. You need to know 6 letters. What? Torah. Learn it. Fulfill it. Make sure you follow it. Gemilut Chasadim. Make it your day-to-day business. You have money, use it for good. Not good to build another floor in your house. Not good to build another car so you could show off to the public. Not good so you could spend your money on vacations and be in places that are not modest. Good for the good of the world of Hashem. Last but not least, bring them to God. Bring them to God. Why? What kind of brother are you if you're not bringing people to God? What kind of person are you if you're not bringing people to God? You're not following this Mishnah. Ben Azai said, be nice to people. Don't be mean to them. Be nice to them. How can you classify yourself as nice if you know the truth, but you're not willing to tell anybody else about it? You keep it to yourself. You know the truth. The bomb is going to explode any minute. But you fly away. You go on vacation. All your friends, family, buddies, classmates, brothers, neighbors, everybody else, you leave them there with the bomb. What kind of nice person are you? You're Hitler. You're not nice. Hitler you are. How can you know the truth and not tell people? Rabbi Yonatan Eibishit says the biggest sinat chinam that we still have in his generation just a few hundred years ago. The biggest sinat chinam, baseless hatred that we have, is when one Jew sees another sinning and doesn't say anything. That's the biggest sinah. Why? It's like you see somebody, a train is coming, it's about to hit him, it's about to kill him, but you don't even bother telling him to move. Move, Hamoudi, move out of the way. Booby, move out of the way. Push the guy. Do something. Don't just look at it though.
Puts on his phone and video it.
You put it on YouTube. Like I saw some guy, Shem Rachem, somebody committed suicide in New York, and they took a video of it. And they put it online. They put it online. The guy jumped off a building, on a 50-story building. They put it online to see the Hashem Rachem. I wish I didn't see this.
People fight.
I wish I didn't see this.
How stopping the fight, everyone videos the fight.
So, you understand? Guys, please. Girls, please. Make Hashem your business. Hashem says you don't need to be big chacham. You don't need to be Moshe Rabbeinu. It's basics. 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 Just learn Torah every day. Do what it says. Do KIRUV to Hashem. That's it. You have nothing to worry about. No? Next question or we finish? I answered all the questions? Okay? Hashem answered. It's not just, I'm just a vessel.
At the beginning we said, like, if you, let's see, keep Shabbat and...
Okay, and I said, so what's the foundation of tshuva? Foundation of tshuva, as I said, it's simple. It's one thing, yirat shamayim. Yirat shamayim. Once you have yirat shamayim, you're going to have everything else. Everything else will follow. Without yirat shamayim, it's not a preservative. So everything you have will eventually go bad anyway. Because even if you learn Torah, the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat says, why is it if somebody knows the entire Torah by heart, it's still judged against him if he doesn't have yirat shamayim? It's because if he doesn't have yirat shamayim, he's not going to fulfill what it says. He's not going to remember what it says. He's not going to do what it says. It's not worth anything. The wheat is going to go bad. It's going to crumble to nothing. Without yirat shamayim, without the preservative, you have nothing. Zero. That's the foundation. No yirat shamayim, no nothing. That's why you see somebody with the kippah, with talit, with everything inside the car on Shabbat. With kippah, with talit. Talit is already on him. There's a guy I know, I don't know him personally, but he goes to this big knesset I mentioned to you before, to tfilat netz, to netz, every day, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, every day. On Shabbat, he even goes to netz, with the car. With the car. So every day he does tefillin, he does talit, he does tefillah, he's in part of a minyan, he thinks he's doing good. Drives on Shabbat. You understand? Why? No yirat shamayim, you're not scared of God, you're just praying because you're 70 years old, you have nothing else to do. You're bored out of your life. What else are you going to do? I go see my friends at 6 o'clock in the morning. You have nothing to do. What are you going to do? You go see your friends at 6 o'clock in the morning. You're not going because of God. You have no connection to Him. Because if you did, you'd look at what He says. And He says, Mechalel Shabbat mot yumat v'nichreta nefesh me'amea. Death upon death, and the soul is cut off from the nation. Doesn't say nice things about Mechalel Shabbat. So, yirat shamayim, that's tshuva. We work on tshuva, we work on yirat shamayim, learn mussar. When you're learning, you write notes, you go over it. Every one of these lectures, I'm telling you, if I was one of the attendees, I would watch each one of the lectures several times. Why? Because there's so many sources, there's so many places, so many things. Listen, Baruch Hashem, each one of these lectures is countless amount of information that if you go over it, think about it, digest it, look into the pages that I mentioned, read more about it. The lecture could be something like you can learn it for months, one lecture. And the saddest thing for me after every lecture is that I review all the notes that I took. You see over here, everything is highlighted. This was yesterday's lecture. Everything is highlighted. You see everything highlighted? All the things that are highlighted are the things that I had to say, but I didn't say. So I spoke for 3 hours. I have all these notes that I different parts of the Torah and stuff that I wanted to include. Spoke for 3 hours. And at the end of the lecture, I look at everything I highlight. Everything I highlight means I didn't say it. So this is just to give you an idea of how much Torah we have. It's endless. Hashem gave you a present, an endless, beautiful present. It never ends. Look at the shiur Torah. Watch them. connect to them. Because shiur Torah, that's what keeps you warm. That's what keeps you on fire. To answer the last question, I forgot to answer in regards to shiur Torah, and then we'll finish with that, because I'm sure everybody wants to sleep a little bit. But the key is, shiur Torah, that's the biggest thing. Why is it the biggest thing? Because shiur Torah keeps you on fire. Especially if it's a good quality shiur Torah, it keeps you on fire. Now, if somebody goes to shiur Torah, he does teshuva, and then he stops going to shiur Torah, you'll see what ends up happening is little by little he cools off. The fire cools off. He was hot, he was doing teshuva, started putting tzalit, started putting tzitzit, started putting kippah, tefillin, minyan, Shabbat, A year later, he said, okay, I already did teshuva, I don't need to go to shiur Torah anymore. I'm going to watch it on Torah anytime. I'm going to watch it on Be'ezratHashem.org. I'm going to watch it on YouTube. I'm going to watch it later on. What happened? Little by little, you see the guy, maybe he's not becoming chiloni again, he's not becoming secular all the time, but he gets cooled off. Why? Because shiur Torah, when you connect to the shiur Torah, you connect to the rabbi, that's what keeps you on fire. That's what keeps you on fire. Because even if you're putting it, even if the shiur Torah is decent warmth, gives you yirat shamayim, then you're keeping everything at the same temperature. But as soon as you stop going to shiur Torah, that's like getting the hot water all the way to like right before boiling and then taking it off. And then putting it back on and then taking it off. And on and off. So I'll never get the boiling. I'll never get the true heat. That's where you have to stay. That's why it's not about me. It's this shiur Torah is for me. It's good for me. It's good for all of you. Simply because that's what keeps you hot. And I've seen it time and time again. Guys come in here, they do teshuva, they see miracles, great things happen, big things happen. Unfortunately, many people drop off because something happens, the Yetzer Hara comes in, the Yetzer Hara grows with them. Just like the Yetzer Hara Tov grows, the Yetzer Hara grows. Yetzer Hara convinces them to not come once, next thing you know it's twice, next thing you know it's 5 times, next thing you know they haven't come for 5 months, and I see them in the street. Sometimes there's no more kippah, sometimes there's no more tzitzit, sometimes the wife forgot to put clothes on, sometimes the kids, why? Because that fire that got them in stopped. Has nothing to do with me, it's all the Torah. Unfortunately, it's sad to say I'm only one of 2, 3, 4 people, max 5 people in the English language that's actually saying this stuff. This is not something I'm proud of. I'm proud to have a merit to be part of it. I'm not proud of the fact there's only a handful of people that actually saying shiur Torah the way it's supposed to be done. People like to say the part of the Gemara where everybody started, the sages started the shiur Torah with a joke. Everyone knows the story. No, you should be more laughing. This is one of the lessons that you should be laughing in shiur Torah. He says, no, absolutely not. They start the shiur Torah with a joke, but it actually says in the Gemara in Shabbat, but the rest of the shiur Torah is 100% scary. Why? The joke is to open up their minds. The scary is to get them to do teshuva. The scary is to get them to do teshuva. Why? Because to say a joke and make the whole shiur as a joke, Rabbi Eliezer ben Holkenos, the same one that just told us the secrets about MaShiach, he also said the guy that makes jokes in the middle of shiur, misken. Why misken? His beginning is suffering and his end is destruction. Not let them make just jokes for no reason. You understand? So here we're here in a generation that has a chance to see Mashiach. There's a chance to do teshuva real, in a real way. You have an opportunity. It's amazing to even have a chance. It's amazing to even be given the opportunity. Don't waste it.
Yesterday you said 3 jokes.
Yesterday I said 3 jokes. That was already overload. It's already over. Today no jokes. No, today was full all business today. Today, yeah, 1 every 4 months. So I split it over 3 months. That's it. Next time I see you guys with jokes, it's 3, 4 months. Hey, you didn't even laugh yesterday with the jokes.
I did. I'm the only one who laughed.
Yeah, one guy laughed. It's not worth the investment.
The second one.
It's not worth the investment.
What's
3
crazy,
jokes.
I thought it was actually rhythm.
No, it's not worth.
She blew up
It's
in
because we
the
knew that it was going to be scary afterwards.
Somebody actually sent me today. Somebody sent me today.
us.
Goes, no, listen, you have to keep saying the jokes. No, if I remember it, I say it. But
The problem is that we're prepared to get on atomic bomb, not a joke.
can exactly. It's a joke is unusual for me. It's unusual for me.
The second joke.
The second, first one shocked you. First one shocked you that there's even a joke. There's jokes coming out of this place. Yeah, Baruch Adonai leolam, amen ve'amen.
Great.
This one, right?
Yeah.